for this Green Bay Packers coaching staff, personnel grouping, and of course the players. It's unbelievable that we're sitting in this position on January 7th.
I said it's the most surprising season for me.
I'm trying to think of one.
Yeah, positively.
Yeah, I can't think of one. Because you knew what Rodgers had in the first year they made the playoffs in 2009. When you guys made the playoffs in 2009, Tausch, like we knew that team was pretty good. And the fact that you guys took that next step, you didn't win the division, but you were a really good team that made the playoffs. And that was almost expected, where you didn't really know what you're getting into here because the team was so young. And we saw all the youngness and all of that. But to your point, Tausch, over the last 8 games now, 18 touchdowns, 1 pick for Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
Team went 6-2 in the last 8.
It's just been unbelievable what Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, and Brian Gutekunst, the triumvirate, has been able to pull off. It's simply unbelievable that we're in this spot. And now, do we want the Rams to blow this game against San Fran so we play Detroit, or do we want to go to Dallas?
I'd rather play Detroit.
Well, from a winning standpoint for the Packers, I would say go to Detroit. But from a media standpoint and all the sexy storylines, oh, baby, give me Dallas.
Yeah, it's not the same, though, without, like, Rodgers versus McCarthy would have been bigger. Like, it's not as big without Rodgers.
No, it's still a big blanket.
I don't know. I guess I do not feel it as much because, I mean, the thought process was that he was shown the door in a large part
because of Rodgers. Yeah. No, the greatness is going to be to win a playoff game, and you got a better chance to win a playoff game
against Detroit.
You for sure got a better chance,
especially after Matt Laporta got hurt today.
Yes, but I'll say the
San
same.
Fran has it.
Excuse me, Sam Laporta, Matt Laporta, the former Brewers prospect.
It doesn't matter. What
San Fran driving has the ball right around midfield.
Yeah,
down 1. So,
no timeouts though. No timeouts.
No,
and nobody you've heard of.
Well, Sam Darnold. I think people have heard of Sam Darnold.
What is it? What's the greatest moment in Sam Darnold's career? Didn't he have one good game?
Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
No. This would be it.
Sure. If you say so.
No, if they come back and win and the Packers get to play in Detroit and they would win in Detroit,
yeah,
be sending flowers to them.
That'd be a huge deal. 800-990-3776. We'll update you on that Rams-Niners game as we continue. We will take your calls. But as Robin Michigan points out, a year ago, we had to deal with a lot of different things, a lot of different emotions with that game. But as Robin Michigan points out on the talk and text line, Big Cat ain't calling in tonight. And I think the Rams just won the game.
No, that was classic Sam Darnold. Throw the damn ball away. Wait for the next play. It wasn't 4th down, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was only 2nd down. He fumbled the ball. Looks like the Rams recovered. It's Rams football. Packers are going to Dallas. We'll discuss it all coming up here tonight on Green Bay Game Night.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at WeEnergies.com. We Energies. People you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey, riding with you every mile since 1977.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, hear us out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Are you heading home from the game wishing you could just take a nap or even keep the party going? There's a perfect solution for you after every Green Bay football home game this season. With official ride to Green Bay, Milwaukee Broadhouse, Jack's American Pub, and Waukee Golf Course all offer transportation to and from Green Bay for each home football game day. Book your round-trip ride from any of these locations and get complimentary access to an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate at the bar on Holmgren Way. Take the stress out of your drive home from the game and visit MilwaukeeBroadhouse.com to book your trip today.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. Men can be their own worst critics, especially as we get older and compare our current self to the younger version. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown help men with testosterone optimization, regenerative medicines, heart health screenings, weight loss, and yes, sexual enhancement services. Forward Healthy Lifestyles can offer regained energy and endurance, more muscle and tone, enhanced performance, joint therapies, and more. Change your life and stop comparing who you are now to who you used to be. Visit ForwardHealthyLifestyles.com for a free consultation.
The green and gold are going to the postseason. The celebration rolls on. You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
As Love on 3rd and 1 wants to go up top. Looks to the end zone. The pass is on the money for the touchdown. Dontavian Wicks.
And they stay there. Dontavian Wicks had a big game. Jordan Love had a big game. Aaron Jones had a big game for the Green Bay Packers as they are back in the playoffs, traveling to Dallas as the 7th seed next week. If we get a game time, which I highly doubt while we're on the air, my guess is they'll wait until after the Sunday night game completes tonight before they release any sort of schedule.
Gotta be Sunday afternoon, Gabe. Gotta be Sunday afternoon.
I would imagine. I feel pretty confident that Packers-Cowboys playoff game is not going to be the Peacock-only game.
If they peacock that game, we should all, I don't know what.
Feel pretty confident.
I don't want to incite anything, but yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. I think it's going to be one of those two slots. Sunday afternoon making the most sense to me. But we're celebrating here today on Green Bay Game Night. Packers win over the Bears 17-9, 9-8 on the season in the playoffs as the 7th seed. We'll take your calls. It is not the Boda Box wine line. It is the Boda Box celebration line today. 800-990-3776. We begin with Jeff from Minnesota. You're up first on Green Bay Game Night along with Homer, Gabe, and Tausch.
Hey, guys. Last week I called you guys. I was in London. Now I'm back home in Minnesota. And as you know, during the year when they were not playing well, I would keep calling in. I would say, Jordan Love is the least of this team's problems. And I will tell you now, it's quite clear we have a quarterback that is a difference maker. He had an 84% completion percentage in his biggest game that he had to date. And he responded to the stress of the game, and he was just on point everywhere. Other than his fumble, he was carrying the ball too high. Other than that, he was at it. You talked about some of the passes he made. I think the one to Kraft, at the end of the game, I mean, that's just talent. That's just somebody that just is in control of the game. But the big pass, I thought, Tony Romo pointed out that the pass he made to Reed that was for 59 yards that got us deep into the Bears territory. Tony Romo made such a big deal out of what an incredible pass that was and how Love made it look effortless. I also would like to, Aaron Jones was unbelievable. And the final thing I'd like to say is this defense is such a better defense when they play man-to-man football. They just are. They're on point, and they play much better defense when they play man-to-man. So, great win. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that, but thank you very much for having the show.
Certainly appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, they were aggressive today, and I think when they have had that aggressive mindset, that's when the defense has played its best. Whether it was when they played against a couple of weeks ago against the Panthers, and then they settled back into their soft zone that allowed the Panthers to get back in the game. Whether it was when they beat Detroit and they beat Kansas City in back-to-back weeks. When they have that aggressive mindset, the defense certainly is better because you know that offense has that aggressive mindset.
Yeah. Do we feel markedly better than we did on that Christmas Eve with the church bells ringing about this defense when we go down to Dallas next week? Do we feel confident in our defense?
No.
No.
Homer?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't either.
But
if I'm just being fair.
Yeah, no, if we're being honest, I don't have confidence in the defense.
It's not being fair. 10th in
it.
points given us for the season.
Don't care.
I'm fine. You don't care, but that's not being fair. Because you should care.
All right, being fair, Homer, being fair is giving up 30 points to a team that hadn't scored 30 points all year and literally did not score a point for the rest of the season.
So how do you do that and still end up as top 10 in the league? Huh? How is that? Because everybody has a bad game now and then. And yes, it's not that you can say it doesn't matter, but that's not being fair. Once, since they won the Super Bowl in 2010, one season, have they done better than 10th in points given up?
All right. We're not arguing about Joe Barry now. We are celebrating the playoffs. Stop bringing up the man's name.
They're in the playoffs partly because of Joe Barry.
We're celebrating.
They gave up 9 points.
We are celebrating.
They wouldn't give up a touchdown. They gave up 3 field goals.
We're not arguing over Joe Barry.
We're not going to argue.
Gabe?
We're not arguing.
We're not arguing Joe Barry. You guys do that when I leave. I'll be more than happy to listen to you and Wilde talk about that. Do we think this team can make a run?
No. They'll lose to Dallas.
I don't feel great about going to Dallas because Dallas at home has been really good this year.
Yeah.
That's a tough place to play. Now, could you talk me into maybe going on a run if they go to Detroit? Maybe, but the other issue with that is if you win that first playoff game, Tausch, San Fran's waiting. And that's
rusty San Fran. A rusty San Fran. This season was going to be a raging success even if they lost to the Bears today.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been disappointing. But now there is no result that you could look at and say, this is such... I think this is an A. You give an A even if they go down and get smoked by Dallas next week. That's, I think, the uncertainty and all of the stuff that we already talked about and where this group is. It's one of the finest organizational deals that you could ever look at.
Yeah.
This is when people say organizations win, this is what you'd look at. I think the Packers could probably give a how-to course on how. I don't even know if I could say how they've done it, but they've done it.
And with this team making the playoffs, I think it's the first time that a team this young's made the playoffs since the guys had 2 jobs playing in the NFL, right? You have to go back to when the NFL was a part-time job. You did something else during the offseason before you find a team that was this young that also made the playoffs. That's since they started tracking this stuff. That's how impressive this is that this team ended up making the playoffs. Let's go out to Levi in Plover. Levi, you're up next on Green Bay Game Night.
Woo-hoo-hoo. How about that Packers, huh? Beating the Bears, but going to playoffs feels fantastic. But how you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Good. They're playing
Awesome.
again.
Awesome, Levi.
Yeah, feel good about that after winning my fantasy league last week. But anyway, this team, they had some mistakes here and there, like at the last, the minute whatever left in the second quarter, they could have went out of bounds, but they didn't. But hey, when Matt LaFleur was asked by Tracy Wolfson from CBS Sports during halftime, we make those mistakes, but we still have to keep moving on. But at least they did, and I just feel happy that we're in the playoffs. And I agree with you, Gabe, that I don't think we'll beat the Cowboys, but I still hope they do. But this is like a fantastic. Oh wait, sorry, I'm talking too fast because I'm just so excited. But let's talk about that Rodgers trade. Who won this trade? The Packers did because they're in the playoffs, and the Jets are not. That's all I got to say, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
That's the other exciting thing when you start looking about the future of this team, guys, is the capital that they have in terms of some of the draft picks with some of the additional trades that they've made. You have the additional second, which is going to be a pretty high second-round pick from the Jets in the Aaron Rodgers trade next year. You've got the third-round pick, granted, probably going to be a little bit later now that the Buffalo Bills have rallied and made the playoffs from Rasul Douglas. You're going to be getting some compensatory picks for losing guys like Alan Lazard, who signed a big money contract to go. There are going to be a lot of picks that Goody's going to have at his disposal this draft in the spring.
Gabe,
so that's the thing that's really exciting.
Brian Gutekunst has just put on a masterclass. And it all mattered because he got it right with his quarterback. So take that for what it's worth. But when you look at how everything has played itself out, and the coach that he had, everything that he played, I've been a Goody stan for a long time. And I don't know how you could possibly. Somebody else will end up winning Executive of the Year. But I don't know how anyone that watched that game in the last 6 to 8 weeks of the season can't look at this and say, wow, Goody nailed it, and he's nailed almost everything he's done this last, 12 months. He's been right.
Yeah.
He's been right.
And I would emphasize as right on the people that he acquired to help Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tom Clements stayed around because he saw it, right, Gabe? With Jordan?
Yeah. Let's quickly hit one last call before we get to break here. Let's go to Paul in California. Paul, you're up next on Green Bay Game Night.
Thank you, Gabe. I'm not, the 2-point fiasco gave us the Cowboys. That's okay. Rodgers' first game was in Dallas. Maybe one of his greatest playoff wins was in Dallas. Favre had to play in Dallas back-to-back and lose twice before the Packers got to the Super Bowl, so this is a rite of passage. And I want to leave you guys with this. Take the NFC quarterbacks, right? You got Stafford and Cousins. They're kind of at the end of their careers. You got Prescott's 30. Goff is 29. And then Hurts, Purdy, and our guy are all about 24 or 25. Of those five, and I can't think of anybody else, we don't know what Caleb Williams is going to be or Drake May or any of that. Of those five, who would you rather have going forward? For his age and his potential improvement, the Packers are in absolutely great shape with this move, and you got to give Gutekunst huge credit.
I think you got to give Matt LaFleur big credit, too. When you start thinking about the growth, think about that first start that Jordan Love had, way back when he had to start because Aaron Rodgers was out against Kansas City, and how rusty he didn't look very good back then. Didn't look very good at times this season, but Matt LaFleur unlocked something within Jordan Love. And I think everybody deserves credit for what the Packers have here. And the thing he said about, thinking about, what the potential and what can he do? I think we saw the potential of what Jordan Love can do over the last 8 games. I cannot imagine, again, Tausch, you said this right away when we started the show, that Jordan Love's been the best quarterback in the NFL over the last 8 weeks. I can't imagine a quarterback playing better than Jordan Love has over the last 8 weeks. With the throws that he's made, the way he's taken care of the football, the way he's shown command of the offense, it's hard to imagine playing better than that.
Yeah, the only guy that's close, I think, would be Dak. And unfortunately, that's who we play next week. I don't think there's been anybody else, and I would still say Jordan. He had the one bad performance. Where was that in New York? Right. That was where
he had a pick. Yeah, still, but still led them to a score
Still led the team. Yep.
When you needed to
win the game.
Yeah.
Or we thought.
But yeah, we thought they would have won the game. But
yeah, it feels like we were going to have a buffer, right? We weren't sure. We've had this. There will not be, unless something goes completely sideways. I think a lot of us, especially guys that have been around for a while, kind of thought, well, there's uncertainty. We might remember when everybody in the off season was saying, now you guys are going to know how the other half feels. Now you're going to find out how the Bears feel and the Vikings. You never have certainty at quarterback, and you can't hit on another quarterback. And I think a lot of us, I could say myself for sure, was like, oh, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like we were in October.
Seems like a bad way to live.
That October swoon. When you fly first class for most of your life, you don't want to get stuck middle seat coach.
No.
Going to Japan.
Woof.
They were in the
better.
baggage section. They weren't.
You know better, so you don't want to go back there. So when people are telling you that, you're like, oh God, I don't want that. And then you find out you don't even have to wait a year. You don't have to even wait. Well, it's back, baby. And that's why Packer fans are looking.
We took one leg of a flight, like we had a layover.
Yeah, but it was a short one.
Yeah, it was like a real short one.
It was to Minneapolis.
Yeah, had to sit middle seat to Minneapolis. And now we're fine again. Back to first class.
And Gabe, it wasn't even that. It was still a good aisle seat.
Yeah.
You were never jammed middle. Yeah.
October was bad.
Even at that point. Okay, all right. You weren't in the baggage. All right, you're middle seat.
Middle seat.
And now you're just saying.
Oh, come on.
You're looking at it.
Reinventing how bad it was. They couldn't get a first down for an entire
It was
half.
middle seat.
That ain't middle seat.
All right, it was middle seat.
No, that's middle seat when
and I'm
you're
sitting
last
next
guy
to you.
getting on Southwest. And
No, and I'm sitting next to you.
Available is with two
I'm
offensive
jammed up next to you, Homer, and you see it, and you're like, oh, man, I got to sit next to old T.
That's right.
And now you realize that for the foreseeable future, you're going to be riding in first class.
Maybe not even first class. Maybe one of those pods. When you're flying internationally, you get the nice little, you can lay down, just really stretch out. It's really living in luxury.
It's just, I don't know if we can possibly feel how, and I've sent the text out to Big Cat to see if he's willing to pay his medicine. We always let him vent when he wins his Super Bowls, which is when the Packers are eliminated and all this. If you're a Bears fan, a Vikings fan, all these teams, and you think, we finally got them. And you see in 1 year when all the dead cap space and your left tackle's out, your running back misses all the time, your best wideout supposedly coming into the season has missed a bunch of games. All of this stuff. And then you look up today at the end of a season where you thought you'd be standing on top of the Green Bay Packers, and you're burrowed beneath them again with no hope and only seeing, we got to do this again. It's unbelievable.
Football fans, tailgating season is here. If you want to win at tailgating, you need to Bonafide your beverage choice. Butterbox Wine is the ultimate addition to your tailgate party. This premium wine comes in a box fitting perfectly in your cooler or trunk. There's no heavy glass or corkscrew to deal with. 1 3-liter Bota box is equivalent of 4 bottles of wine, so it's great for sharing. Bring the wine that wins with wine critics. Butterbox, this is how we Bota. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 or older. Butterbox Vineyards, Manteca, California. We get back out to that Butterbox celebration line. Coming up next, Packers are playoff bound. This is Green Bay Game Night.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
Ready to conquer the Midwest's premier winter playground? Then start planning a visit to Granite Peak. With over 200 acres of skiable terrain, Granite Peak has something for everyone, from beginners to seasoned pros, park skiers to mogul fanatics, and everything in between. Soar to new heights on their state-of-the-art chairlifts and warm up in the cozy historic chalet with roaring fireplaces and stunning views. A legendary winter adventure begins at Granite Peak. Don't miss out. Visit skigranitepeak.com to book your winter vacation now, and for more information, Granite Peak. Legendary winters, legendary fun.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A couple years ago, my knee was acting up.
As an athlete, I've played through pain before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't compete in the sports I loved. I decided to check out Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's the best decision I've made. I felt no pressure to have surgery. That was important to me. We had choices. I ultimately did choose to have a procedure. I was in and out in just hours and back in action shortly after. I recommend meeting their doctors. Visit orthowisconsin.com today.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game-time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Fleet Farm has everything you need for happy backyard birds. And we mean everything. Like over 100 different types of wild bird foods and bird feeders. This week, get a 25-pound bag of black oil sunflower wild bird food for just $13.99. Plus, join us Saturday, January 13th at 9 a.m. to build and decorate a free birdhouse with your kids. Create family memories and find what you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Here in Wisconsin, we love our sports year-round, right down to the Packers games in the Lambeau snow. If you want to show your love for the green and gold every day, you got it with Associated Bank's exclusive Packers checking account. A one-of-a-kind debit card, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, plus everything you'll score as an Associated Bank customer. Best of all, you'll get a banking partner based right here in the Midwest. Visit AssociatedBank.com/Packers to get started today. You've got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Jordan Love and the Green and Gold are headed to the playoffs. The reaction continues on all night long. It's Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
How many times must we take?
3rd and 3. Pass to Wicks. And he finds the goal line for the touchdown.
6 catches, 61 yards, 2 tutters for Dontavian Wicks. Jaden Reed, 4 catches, 112 yards today for the Packers. No Christian Watson, no problem. Oh, that was a little bit of a shocker. Did not matter. 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, career high 128.6 quarterback rating for Jordan Love in one of his, if not the most important game of his career. He delivers. Packers win 17-9, heading to the playoffs over the Chicago Bears today. They will be the 7 seed. They will be heading to Dallas. We just don't know when. If we see anything, if we hear any rumors, we will certainly pass those along. But you can join us on the Boda Box celebration line, 800-990-3776. All right. I made him wait for 13 minutes. I guess we can put him on right now because he's making demands. He's feeling, probably a little too big for his britches right now. Let's go out to the producer of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, Josh DiMaggio. Joshy, what's going on?
Hello, fellas. Hello, fellas. First time, long time.
Hey, Big Cat.
Respectfully, what the hell are we doing right now on this radio program? The Green Bay Packers just made the playoffs against the hated Chicago Bears. Jordan Love is a bleeping superstar. The Bears had all the hope in the world that this was going to be their time to get back on us. I listened to all year everyone tell me this is a 4-win team. Jordan Love can't play football. He's throwing the ball to rookies. We have superstars running around the field everywhere. This was a monumental win. This is a monumental season. Matt LaFleur is an incredible head coach. Brian Gutekunst looked at Aaron Rodgers right in the face, gave him the finger, and said, we're going to be better off without you. This could not be bigger. I want more celebration from you guys. I want more parties. This couldn't be
Big
bigger.
Cat, Big Cat, what do you want from me? I'm raving about all the things you just said.
I don't care about Joe Barry. I don't care about who they play next week.
We shut Homer
Joe
off
Brady
with
don't
that.
win.
Yeah, we cut him off. We
shut Homer down. That's hour 5. It's going to be the Joe Barry hour.
We
with
just
Homer.
talked about how Jordan Love's been the best quarterback in the league for the last 8 weeks, bud. You should probably,
Be more
kind of listen.
The Packers went back to back to back with franchise superstar quarterbacks, and I'm not feeling enough excitement. Mac, play my music one more time.
Wait, now he's producing the show remotely,
just so
too?
we know, how great is Jordan Love going to be?
Josh, he's just really feeling himself. I love it.
God, I'll say this game. I never knew.
I just want to know, because you've compared him to Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre, 3-time MVP? Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP. So how good is Jordan Love going to be?
He's playing like it.
I didn't say I did not. I just want to know how good you think he's going to be.
Hey, I'll say this.
Is he going to win an MVP? Is he going to win an MVP?
Yes. Many of them.
Many
Five
of them.
Six of them.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I don't care.
That's right.
Bye.
All right, thanks, Joshy.
Just want to have it on record.
Yeah, the Joe
Those at
Barry
6,
stuff. But what I see, my boy Dove Kleiman, I just look on Twitter here. I didn't know. I was fortunate after we won the Rose Bowl. I had my buddy sneak me out a cigar, and I smoked a cigar on the out in Pasadena on the field after we won. And I thought, man, that was cool. And now I didn't know you could smoke cigars in the Packers locker room. I see it looks like Keyshawn Nixon. Looks like there's guys smoking. Stogie saying smoking the Bear Pack. How awesome is this, man? Smoking cigars, celebrating what nobody thought could be done, and here they are getting it done.
It'd be
Just
hard to have
those
a bigger
batteries.
surprise.
Just got to take those batteries out of the the fire alarms, Tausch, and you're feeling great. Yeah, that's awesome. More videos of that. I can't wait to see more videos.
I didn't know that was a doable deal, and frankly, the last couple of years, even when you won divisions and you won games, you never really celebrated, and that's where I think the Matt LaFleur celebration and joy. I think before it was almost like relief, and now it's just sheer unadulterated joy that he and this staff is feeling because of the way this team fought, scrapped, and got it done.
So I cannot wait to get to this audio. We do not have it, but once we do, Max will have to edit it because Matt LaFleur apparently in his postgame press conference said on Jordan Love, he's about the right bleep.
He is.
He's about the right. Starts with an S.
S.
He's about that. He's about
still
that.
Still can't use that word now?
Still can't.
So
even though we're celebrating.
Can we translate that? That means he's not Aaron Rodgers? Is that what that is?
That's how it's how I'm kind of reading about it.
Okay.
I think that's a not so subliminal shot at Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's pretty direct.
I think it's pretty direct.
Yes.
He's about the right stuff, but he didn't say stuff. So he's fired up. When Matt starts dropping the curse words at the podium, Matt's fired up.
Because much of his success has been appropriately labeled to his connection with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and again,
and a lot of headaches that he had to deal with. Now,
as bad as October was for us, imagine how bad it was for him. He had to fix it.
Mm-hmm. And he did.
And he did.
And he
Yes.
did.
He did.
Let's go out to Jason in Minnesota. Jason, you're up next. 800-990-3776. This is the Boda Box celebration line.
Go, Pack, go. I got to follow Joshy? Jesus, this is a tough act here,
That's
boys.
tough.
Yeah, you'll have to go 7
I
MVPs.
can't, listen, I 2 years after the Buccaneers NFC Championship loss, I was like, it's insane, and I was called insane, maybe even on some of these airwaves on call-ins. I'm ready for something different. I was ride or die Rodgers. I've seen it play out enough now. I'm ready for something different. I just want to see a plucky young quarterback come in and just see what he can do. It's not joyful to watch Packers football. Okay, enter October. Is that joyful to watch? Does Gutekunst know what he's doing? Does Murphy know what he's doing? Does Matt LaFleur know how to coach? We have all this young talent. Where's the young talent? What if they're all just Amari Rodgerses out there? They're running to the same spot. Nobody knows what they're doing. Love is terrible. And then hallelujah, amen, oh my God, let's go. He's a guy. Boom, he's a guy. Boom, he's a guy. Boom, he's a guy. They're all 22 years old, and they're all guys. Like, let's effing go. This is so sweet. And, okay, if we're going to go to Dallas, well, but then I think about, like, the Packers and, like, going down to Atlanta. And weren't we kind of the underdogs then? And then Rodgers just lights the place on fire. And Jordan's, like, stat for stat right with Rodgers. And I'm going, we could do this. And how many times has McCarthy S'd the bed? He S's the bed in big spots. He can't manage the game clock well. I think for all of the heartache, there might be some karmic comeuppance in the universe where for suffering the woes of McCarthy, and I'm forever grateful to McCarthy. He gave us a lot of good years of football, but he S'd the bed more than once. And now we're going to go down there. All the pressure's on Dallas. Amen. Hallelujah. Let's go, boys. Go, Pack, go.
I would say Jason followed up Joshy pretty well there.
That's very good follow-up. Very good follow-up. And I think it is nice. This season's been that way, but for the postseason, it's even amplified even more. Because there would have been disappointment had we not beaten the old Bears at home to get in. But now, nobody is going to think we can go down to Dallas. Everybody's got Dallas and San Fran playing for the NFC Championship. That's what everybody's thinking. And I would bet right now that if you let Mike McCarthy pick, if he could play anybody outside of it, he could play Detroit, he could play any of these other teams.
Play Philly.
I think he'd rather not play the Green Bay Packers.
Maybe.
Yes, I agree. I think the league appropriately believes that the Packer offense can score on anybody right now.
Well, how many punts we have today?
I think it was 0. I believe 0 was the number of punts today.
Been a lot of that this year. Been a lot of that in the last
they have?
5-6
the
weeks.
4. Or, excuse me, punts, they had 3.
Yeah. There weren't many punts at all.
It's 3x what Green Bay did.
No, I don't want to. Yeah. Oh, it's just sweet. Be back in the playoffs.
There's nothing better than this kind of a surprise. There just isn't.
But even more than that, and I know there was some talk, I know Chewy was pushing this on our show, on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, that even if they would have lost today, this season was going to be a success because of what Jordan Love is. Yeah. Which, again, 100% agree. But being back in the playoffs, man,
it's a lot better. A lot better.
It's just so much better. We'll get back to your calls on that Boda Box celebration line. 800-990-3776 coming up next. But first, I want to tell you that 24/7 sports betting is here in the great city of Milwaukee. That's thanks to Potawatomi Casino Hotel and the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Enjoy the convenience of self-service kiosks, odds boards, wall-to-wall TVs, free parking, full-service bar, and numerous food options. Bet big, bet bold at the Potawatomi Sportsbook and the Potawatomi Casino Hotel.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Night will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, hear us out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Smoking hot deals just keep coming with quick hot savings from Quick Trip. And right now we're cooling off with $2.99 a gallon Nature's Touch milk. All 1 gallon, 2%, 1%, and skim Nature's Touch milk, just $2.99. Hey, looking to make that perfect movie night milkshake? Or how about making those morning waffles extra fluffy? Our fresh, straight from our dairy Nature's Touch milk is on sale and ready for your fridge. Quick hot savings from Quick Trip. Yeah, we're here to save you some moolah.
A new year means new goals for Wisconsin hoops teams. The red and white will make a run to the tournament, and Milwaukee is eyeing up a playoff run in the spring. As Wisconsin's 3PL Evans Transportation knows, it takes a team effort to make those runs, and when it comes to manufacturers' accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, Evans is the supply chain team for you. Good luck to all Wisconsin hoops teams from Wisconsin's 3PL. Find them at evanstrans.com.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. Men can be their own worst critics, especially as we get older and compare our current self to the younger version. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown help men with testosterone optimization, regenerative medicines, heart health screenings, weight loss, and yes, sexual enhancement services. Forward Healthy Lifestyles can offer regained energy and endurance, more muscle and tone, enhanced performance, joint therapies, and more. Change your life and stop comparing who you are now to who you used to be. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
Homer here. There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. She wants a diamond. You know it, I know it, and Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge selection of lab-grown diamonds, and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for $9.99? Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds. $9.99 for a 2-carat pair of diamond studs. Oh, baby! Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield and Brookfield. Why overspend when you can save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Better for less. Some jewelers are charging nearly $5,000 for a lab-grown diamond. Not Robert Hack. Your visit will be worth it. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. They got some of mine. Remember, before you do anything, call Robert Hack Diamonds. Visit roberthackdiamonds.com for information, roberthackdiamonds.com, and visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
The green and gold are going to the postseason. The celebration rolls on. You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Here's Fields. They crash in on him again, just like they did on 2 other drives in this game. It's Kenny Clark who got to him.
5 quarterback sacks.
Carl
Green
Brooks.
Bay Packers.
Brooksy.
Quay Walker had one. Carl Brooks had one. Also had a tackle for loss for Carl Brooks. Lucas Van Ness had one. Kenny Clark had one. And Devontae Wyatt had one. Add them up. 5 quarterback sacks for Green Bay's defense today as they beat the Bears 17-9, and they're heading back to the postseason. Whether it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we don't know. We have a hunch it's going to be on Sunday, but we have no idea. If we know, we'll certainly update you as we continue here on Green Bay Game Night.
Can you imagine being a Bears fan?
No.
Just think about being a Bears fan. Can you imagine?
I mean, have fun with the first pick, everybody.
How miserable. Oh, my. Yeah, enjoy it. I got a couple neighbors that are big Bears fans, and it's just hilarious.
Have you thought about moving?
Especially the way they approach this offseason and the feeling, Big Cat, whenever he calls in, this will be the first time that the Packers season ain't over. So I have to rephrase that. I'm sure he'll call when and if this Packers season ends without a championship. But it is just, you just can't help but laugh.
No, that's why it's mostly about Goody. It's always about the players. When the Bears were good, they had a guy, Jim Finks, who they got from the Vikings. It's all about who puts the players together. And then it always will be. Then you have to have a good coach, and you hope the guy. But there's no, the Bears have had horrible people picking players, and that often goes to the president or who owns the team in terms of how much
their ownership group, and they don't have a stadium. There's a lot of stuff, but the bottom line is the Packers. You got the fan base, you got the organization, and it's all Justin Fields is saying nothing to do up in Green Bay. Well, there's going to be a lot to do next Saturday, Sunday, or Monday.
He'll have a lot of free time in Chicago.
They're going to have a lot of golf and everything else. So that's why I always get a kick out of it, because it just means more. It's like the SEC. I look at it like the Bears we're the SEC, and the Bears would be like a MAC school, if that makes sense. Constantly fighting for some type of I don't know what the right word. I'm not going to say the wrong word, so I'm not going to say it. But the bottom line is, I just feel like it's just what a day. What a day to be a Green Bay Packer fan.
Time to flush it or flesh it, courtesy of our friends at Gordon Flesh Company.
Flush it.
We failed multiple times with bad ideas. I didn't know were bad till I realized they didn't work.
Or flesh it.
Yeah, that's one idea. Or we can work as a team.
Brought to you by Gordon Flesh Company. Business technology managed. Taking the worry out of your office equipment and IT needs.
The question I'm going to propose in Flush It or Flesh It tonight here, boys, after the Packers lost to the Vikings and things were 2-5, obviously the Packers go 7-3 the rest of the way to make the postseason. Other than Jordan Love, what's the biggest reason this team turned it around and became a playoff team?
Yeah, it's the offensive line. I firmly believe there was so much uncertainty, and Elton Jenkins was hurt, and I think when you look back at that late September, early October, mid-October swoon where the team looked like, it was Matt LaFleur not trusting his quarterback. His quarterback kind of just feeling his way around, which, again, they're young player. But I think once you started believing that you could protect him, Jordan Love started believing he could make the throws, and his coach started calling the plays that allowed him to do it. And that's where the receivers started getting their confidence up, and Jaden Reed emerged as a stud. You can just look at all of those things, but it all comes back to, can you protect? Because the run game, I don't know what the rushing stats will end up being. Aaron Jones had a great finish to the season.
First time in his career, he went three in a row with 100 yards on the ground. So, yeah.
There's your consistency, Gabe, that you're always asking for.
Mm-hmm.
But it always comes back to that, and especially to the O-line, and especially in a season when you're trying to figure things out. Good offensive line play will make a lot of other stuff a lot better, and it allows you to let that quarterback develop and grow with his young players. Confidence grows because that group was solid as a rock in the pass protection part of this. Really the last 8 to 10 weeks, even when you go up to Pittsburgh, I thought it was really good. All of those things is what I think has been the underlying piece to why this offense has been as good as it's been the last 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, it helps. I just think the receivers, the tight ends and stuff. I mean, did it without Aaron Jones some of the time. He didn't even play that much. And then all these people were, the ones that you thought would be such a huge part of it based on last year. I mean, people, Melton, come on. And so, yes, I think in order for that to have a chance, you have to have good offensive line play and give your quarterback time, and it's easy how much more comfortable you can be. But people are open. People no one's ever heard of. Nobody expected to be this good. And now, as we wait to see how good Jordan Love's going to be, we also wait to see how good some of these receivers or tight ends are going to be. And without their improvement and the level of play they've been at, I mean, that's what makes this stand out is as much as what they did, but how many people were hurt while they did it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I say it's a lot of it for me is Matt LaFleur just letting it rip. I mean, there are a lot of things I think that came together for this team to go 7-3 in their last 10 games after sitting there at 2-5 in order to make the playoffs. And I think Matt LaFleur just letting it rip and going, you know what? Screw it. This is the way we're going to do things going forward. Hey, Jordan, you got to let it rip. I got to let it rip. We actually have to put the foot on the gas, no gas, or all gas, no bleep and brake, and just run forward with it like that. I think that's a big reason why the Packers turned things around. Gordon Flesh Company, Tausch, they've been great partners all season long here on Green Bay Game Night.
Indeed, and it took a team to get to the playoffs, and it takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's true on the football field as it is in the office. Gordon Flesh Company has been providing cutting-edge technology for companies of all sizes for over, what a great number, 65 years. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
In 2 minutes, we'll get back to your calls and get to the dog of the game. That's next, Green Bay Game Night.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
Check out our brand new Hyundai dealership, one of the largest in the Midwest.
Step inside of our state-of-the-art showroom where you can view our new Hyundai models and some of our finest certified pre-owned.
We've also expanded our service center, staffed by our factory-certified technicians.
And right next door, we've started construction on our all-new Genesis of Waukesha dealership.
But we're not just building walls, we're building careers.
So if you're looking for a career with great benefits and opportunity for growth, Boucher is the place for you.
At Boucher, we ride with you every mile.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game-time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
You heard the final whistle. That means the postgame is ready to roll. This is Green Bay Game Night, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee, alongside Homer and Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Here's Gabe Neitzel.
Packers are playoff bound, 17-9 over the Bears. Packers finish 9-8, 7 seed in the NFC. They will head to Dallas. And according to Bet Online, the Packers are opening up as big underdogs. They're opening up as -7.5.
7.5. More than a touchdown isn't enough.
Yeah. 7.5 point underdogs at
just the way
Dallas.
we want it, Gabe. Just the way we want it. Let's
flying in under the radar.
There's no reason now because let me tell you something. Enjoy this, Packer fans. because expectation-wise, we'll be at the top of people's Super Bowl list moving forward. So enjoy this little, very small Pella window that we had as, they're not going to be any good. They can't make the playoffs, all this other stuff, because that window is a lot smaller than we ever anticipated it was going to be.
No, there'll be a significant percentage saying the Packers will win the division next year.
Oh, I think most people will say in the NFC it'll be San Fran, Dallas, and Green Bay. And then Detroit, we don't know what they're going to do. They got a bunch of stuff they got to figure out too.
Yep.
800-990-3776. Quickly, let's go to Ron in the Key. Ron, you're up next on Green Bay Game Night with Homer, Gabe, and Tausch.
Possibly the most aspirational words ever. Let's go quickly to Ron. But it will be quick, because it's overdue. I called in many, many weeks ago and tried to get you guys to admit on air how bad Jordan Love was, because he was showing us. So all this is me just calling in to say I was wrong. I was way wrong. He's very good. He's good looking. I'm not. He's smart. I'm not so intelligent. I don't know if I like our chances next week. I don't care.
It's a small
Everybody
price
that
to
always
pay for
says I
winning.
trade.
I'm with you.
Everybody who says I trade one championship years and then suck for 10.
Yes, me.
They're just wrong.
No, I'm not.
You're
just
wrong.
No, I'm
not
sorry.
being able to care
I'll
about
be the Rams
playoffs
every 10 years.
sucks.
Yes. And I'll be Giannis
you have to
every
live
10
the other 10 years.
What?
I mean, you might not have to. I might not have to. But Gabe's going to have to live the next 10 years.
Fair.
Thanks for the
Fair
call,
point.
Ron. I guess, we covered the gamut there.
It's hard to win every 10 years.
We were excited, and then we talked about death at the end. Typical Ron in the Key call. Let's go ahead and get to our dogs of the game.
We got dogs. It's time for the Sit Mean Sit.
Yeah, we got dogs, Jimmy.
Dog of the game.
John Money Alexander. Christian Watson. Will Walker. He's a dog. Aaron Jones. Kenny Clark.
Presented by Sit Mean Sit Dog Training in Waukesha and Milwaukee. Visit sitmeansit.com.
There were times in October where it's like, I guess we got to pick someone. Not today. We got plenty of dogs to choose from. Tausch, who are you going with?
Yeah, it is a dogapalooza everywhere you look. I want to make sure one of you guys says Carl Brooks, because I don't want Carl Brooks' efforts to go unknown.
If Carl Brooks went unsaid, I was going to say Carl Brooks.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I got a text from our boy Benny B, and I wasn't going to forget this guy, because the low-hanging fruit I'm going to leave for Homer. I think we forget that Aaron Jones is just steady Eddie. 22 carries, $111, 5 yards a run.
That's three games in a row, over 110.
And 5 catches for 30 yards. So, no big deal tonight. 141 yards of total offense for Aaron Jones. It's just he's such a difference maker. This offense, while it was getting better, I don't know if we would have seen, and today wasn't all about offense, even though we didn't punt, because we only scored 17. But Aaron Jones makes this thing go. And this was had he been able to stay healthy, I think we'd have seen this earlier, the way this offense played. But he is a dog. He always is a dog. And today he is my woof, 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 big boy dog of the game.
I have a group of dogs. Jaden Reed, Bo Melton, Dontavius Wicks, and Tucker Kraft had 18 catches for 250 yards. You ever heard of any of those guys before this year?
Hey,
none.
And Homer, and
It's
make
a
sure
kennel.
we add in, and
It's
I know Musgrave only had the one catch,
right?
But he's coming off a lacerated kidney.
Okay,
you come off a lacerated kidney and go out in an NFL game and have a catch in a playoff game. He a dog too.
That's fine, but just think of that: Reed, Melton, Wicks, Kraft.
Yeah,
250 yards.
That's something.
Yeah, that was an unknown kennel.
All right, I'll give Tausch. I feel like I have to lie to
gotta
you.
be a dog,
that's what I'm saying. Like I gotta lie to you. So
I thought Homer would take Jordan Love. I really wish I could assign you guys your dogs. I'm not going to do that. I'll give you the dog tags to put up. But That's what I try to do.
It was never
Jordan Love has to be.
Yeah,
Jordan Love has to be the dog.
Yeah, I told you I was going to go Carl Brooks if he was there at the end, but Jordan Love, this was literally the biggest game of his professional career, and probably the biggest game of his career. I don't know if he played any big ones like this in Utah State, but you just said it, Tausch. This was basically a playoff game. This was winning you're in, losing you go home. There was no backdooring your way into the playoffs by the time this thing kicked off at 3:25. And all Jordan Love did was deliver the best stat line that he's had all season long. He just continued to make it look easy, continued to drop dimes in the end zone, where he's got Tony Romo going, what is this kid doing? This is unbelievable how he's making this look so easy. Jordan Love is my dog of the game.
And go ahead and say it. Because I know you want to.
What?
And he didn't get to play against Joe Barry.
He didn't. 27 of 32. So he had 5 incompletions, and one of them was probably his best throw of the day.
Right, he had 4.5.
That Melton, that Melton just couldn't hang on to in the back part of the end zone.
You remember when we were worried about his completion percentage?
Yeah, justifiably so.
No, I'm not arguing. Listen, I was right there with you. It was a concern. And the fact that he flipped it this quick, thank you, Tom
outrageous.
Clements.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom Clements.
I told you, Tausch, by the end of the season, thank you, Tom Clements.
You nailed it.
Had a hunch at the beginning of the season. I also have a hunch that when you get done here, you're going to kick back, watch some Sunday Night Football, Tausch, and that Tito's, I'm willing to bet it's going to taste the sweetest it's tasted all season.
It is. What a way to celebrate a great season, capped off by a great win against your rival. Tito's Handmade Vodka. Pour me in, coach, from a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch. Root for your favorite team with your favorite team spirit. And, oh, man, you could have started the day with that bloody. Just make sure it's Tito's in your glass. And now the victory celebration Tito's tonight. It'll be cranberry for Old T. You can change it up for whatever you want. You can wash that lucky jersey. Whatever you want to do, just make sure it's Tito's in your glass. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com.
Oh, super excited for next week, Tausch. We got a show next week, big guy. Can't wait to talk to you then. Can't wait to hear you tomorrow on Wilde and Tausch.
Sounds good. Good work, fellas.
Mark Tauscher, big part of Green Bay Game Night. We'll continue to take your calls. We are celebrating here tonight on Green Bay Game Night. Packers back in the playoffs. They travel to Dallas next week. If and when we find out when that game's going to be played, we'll certainly pass it along. If not, we'll continue to party. That's what we're doing here. It's Green Bay Game Night.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Night will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Adulting in the fall means responsible spiking. For pumpkin spice or whatever your preferred fall drink concoction is, spike it with RumChata. It's a solution for any occasion. RumChata is the world's finest liqueur featuring premium Caribbean rum combined with vanilla, cinnamon, and the highest quality dairy cream sourced from Wisconsin. Enjoy a smooth shot or a tantalizing spiked beverage with RumChata Original. And, backed by popular demand for a limited time, RumChata Peppermint Bark. RumChata, the superior way to spike and sip responsibly this fall.
For general contest rules, visit espnwisconsincontest.com.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin offers some of the most energy efficient windows in the industry, designed to keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Palla's premium wood windows and patio doors feature distinguished craftsmanship and nearly endless possibilities, with maximum design flexibility in dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more. Hurry! To get the 0% interest up to 36 months, you have to book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Ready to conquer the Midwest's premier winter playground? Then start planning a visit to Granite Peak. With over 200 acres of skiable terrain, Granite Peak has something for everyone, from beginners to seasoned pros, park skiers to mogul fanatics, and everything in between. Soar to new heights on their state-of-the-art chairlifts and warm up in the cozy historic chalet with roaring fireplaces and stunning views. A legendary winter adventure begins at Granite Peak. Don't miss out. Visit skigranitepeak.com to book your winter vacation now and for more information. Granite Peak. Legendary winters, legendary fun.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
The green and gold are going to the postseason. The celebration rolls on. You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
He's about the right. Sorry for that, but he's about all the right things, and you know, the guy just comes to work every day, has a great attitude, is one of the guys, you know, has really improved over the course of 4 years, and I'm just super happy for him. He's earned it.
Max, hit me with it again. Hit me with it again. Just the first part. I can't get enough of it.
I'll agree that the ones that know him in here, he's about the right.
He's about the right, you know what, from Matt LaFleur, talking about Jordan Love, his guy. Shout out to Jason, who tweeted this at us, or excuse me, texted it at us, 800-990-3776. Jordan Love finishes with 4,159 pass yards and 32 pass touchdowns, the only quarterbacks in NFL history to exceed those totals their first season as a full-time starter.
We can't do
There's
that.
two.
You can't do that.
Mahomes and
They
Warner.
play 17 games. It's not, you can't do it.
Homer.
You just can't.
Homer.
Yes.
Homer. Sure. Let's care about that tomorrow.
No, you can't. They can't. The stuff on seasons has to stop. Everybody needs to know it's crap. Figure out what it is average per game. Other than you're lying to people. They played 12 games at some point, 14. We have this all in college football. This is the most wins by the team and whatever. Shut up. You can't do it.
Homer, the Packers are in the playoffs. Why are we angry? Why are we angry?
Because I can't stand that you people, not you, but people put this stuff up about not just Jordan Love, any of them. They play 17 games and they used to play 16. It's not the same.
Who cares?
I care because it's not accurate.
But it is accurate.
No, it isn't. When you don't play the same number of games. What if they played 100 games now? Well, he's the first quarterback to ever do it. It's crap. There are great things about Jordan Love, and you've mentioned many of them. The last 7 games, the quarterback rating, all this kind of stuff. What did he have in 16 games against Aaron Rodgers or whoever you're going to compare it with? Just like running backs. You know, they got 1,000 yards. Yeah. They don't play the same number of games. So, I'm done.
Were you anti 61 home runs too back in 1961?
Yes. You have to say they played 154. Now they played 162. Yes, it's different. It doesn't take away the greatness of a season. I've never seen, regardless of if it was 12, 14, 16, I've never seen a team turn things around mid-season like the Packers have, ever. Because you would never forget it. Like, I will never forget last year's Marquette season. Not that they're the best team I've ever followed, but they were picked 9th in the Big East and did what no Marquette team has ever done. So the expectations, the biggest surprise of a season, and the biggest surprise of this team to be 2-5, and they can't get a first down in a half of football, to now have one of the top offenses in the game with players no one had ever heard of, with injuries of certainly Watson. Who would have thought they could do this offense without Watson? And those were the two guys we were counting on.
And Dobbs, I mean, he almost caught the touchdown, but then left and did not come back after that.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter.
I know.
Because that's how good Wicks
this season
and
is.
Reed and Melton and all those guys were.
Anything's possible, even when it isn't possible.
Well, and the crazy part was, after those first 7 games, we were talking, well, I mean, if Jordan Love has a really good second half, like maybe he can get over 60%, because it's going to be, finishes at 63.1%.
Yes.
63.1%. Unbelievable turnaround for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, who head to Dallas next week.
I don't think we'll ever see one as great. Ever. That's how amazing it is.
It very well could be true. Let's go to Max in Missouri. Max, you're up next on Green Bay Game Night with Homer and Gabe.
Hello. My question is, do you think we would keep Joe Bailey as defensive coordinator if we were to get by Dallas in the playoffs and lose to San Fran? Or do you think we would fire him and hire somebody like Al Harris, a defensive coordinator that blitzes a lot, to utilize LaFleur to his fullest potential?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what kind of defensive coordinator Al Harris is going to be. Certainly appreciate the call, Max. I have no idea. No idea. And maybe not. I mean, if it's very possible that the Packers go to Dallas and win next week? Sure. But it's also very possible the Packers go to Dallas next week and get torched. Like, that's on the table. I guess right now I don't care.
I agree.
I will deal with the consequences of whatever happens in Dallas next week right here on Green Bay Game Night. Until then, I'm with you. I mean,
it's possible. It's impossible to exaggerate what's been accomplished. This is getting to the Atlantic on a bike. You can't do it because anybody who follows the game has never seen it.
Like, they scored 20 points. When they played Detroit for the first time, they scored 20 points, but, I mean, they had 3 points and, 20 yards at halftime. They got to 20 points because it was garbage time for the entire second half. They scored 13 at Las Vegas. They scored 17 against Denver, who had given up 70 not that much recently before that. And then 10 against Minnesota. It was so bad. It's just impossible to imagine Jordan Love at that point having a stat line of 27 for 32, 316, 2 touchdowns. It was literally impossible for me to imagine.
Wow.
And now that's kind of become the norm. He's just so in control. It's awesome.
Well, and you felt it and heard it from Tony Romo.
Yes. Well, so I know Tony Romo has irritated some people with the way he is. I like him because the dude's having fun. Yeah. And it's supposed to be fun. He's clearly enjoying his job, right?
And amazed how many millions he makes.
Yes, probably.
Yes.
Because he's raking it in.
But he likes watching it, and you get an insight from somebody who's played it with energy.
But not just him. Going back to the way Chris Collinsworth talked about Jordan Love last week as well. And, man, we watched a lot of that Minnesota tape from the first time these two teams played. My goodness. Because, they played Jaron Hall last week. But also, that was relatively the same defense, pretty healthy defense that shut down Jordan Love and the Packers at the end of October. And he showed the growth and maturity there, and it continued into this week. And
I mean, someone can watch the tape, but I think Tausch has nailed it in terms of the great play of the offensive line, which allowed Jordan Love to calm down and allowed Jordan Love to do the things that he's doing. And you see the difference it is, even in watching this game with Fields, and how many times you're not allowed to have the patience. I mean, it seems like he has forever, but that's also because that when somebody's open early, he throws him the ball.
And what's going to be fun, I think, about when we get past the season, we hit April in the draft, like, back in October, I thought, they need this, they need that. Oh, man, I mean, we've got to improve the draft pick, all these things. The way the offense developed, everyone's like, they need a tackle. No, they don't. Don't need a tackle. Would it be nice if one's there? Sure. But if somebody else is there, you can grab. Like, they're in a spot with the way the roster sits right now. I mean, for the longest time, and I know you know this is BS as well, when teams say, we draft the best player available. Like, need has never impacted any draft class ever. Now, need obviously ends up being the tiebreaker a lot of times, and if a player's close in terms of a grade, they'll end up going with the need.
Yes.
But I don't think there's a glaring, you absolutely need this type of player. Like, would it be nice to have a better safety? Yeah, if one's there. Would it be nice to have a really good left tackle? Sure, if one's there. But there's some talent on this roster, especially offensively, that you are excited to see grow and develop. 800-990-3776. That is the number for the Boda Box celebration line here on Green Bay Game Night.
Rum Chata is the perfect blend of rum, cream, cinnamon, and vanilla flavors. Carefully select the finest ingredients to create the world's finest liqueur, combining premium Caribbean rum, the highest quality dairy cream, sourced right here from Wisconsin, and Mexican spice. And backed by popular demand, Rum Chata Peppermint Bark is now in stores for a limited time. So, Rum Chata, have your unusual. You can find Rum Chata Original, Rum Chata Peppermint Bark at your local grocer or your favorite liquor store. Bottled right here in Pewaukee.
Back to your calls on that Boda Box celebration line coming up next. Green Bay Game Night.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Night will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
Football fans, tailgating season is here, and if you want to win at tailgating, you need to Bodify your beverage choice. Boda Box wine is the ultimate addition to your tailgate party. This premium wine comes in a box, so it fits perfectly in your cooler or trunk, and there's no heavy glass or corkscrew to deal with. One 3-liter Boda Box is equivalent to 4 regular bottles of wine, so it's great for sharing. Bring the wine that wins with Wine Critics Boda Box. This is how we Boda. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Boda Box Vineyards, Manteca, California.
Hey, this is Gary Ellison for my good friends at the Jewelry Center. It's the only place I go when I'm looking to get some new jewelry. Dean and his team are always friendly and know just what I'm searching for when I stop by. I may not always know what type of jewelry I want, but the professionals there sure do. Plus, if I need repairs on watches or other jewelry, the Jewelry Center does that too. Find the Jewelry Center in Burlington, Brookfield, and Greenfield, or shop their entire collection online, including their popular Lightbox lab-grown diamonds at shoptjc.com.
Prize Picks, the most fun I've had, winning up to 25x on my money during the football season, and now I get to play during the basketball season as well. You get to select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and you just place an entry. Pretty simple. And now you get to pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. So for me, I'm going to go Jordan Love, and then I'll go Giannis and Dallas Dame. If I want to go 3-pointers made, rushing touchdowns, can do it. Prize Picks is that simple to play. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app.
Go to prizepicks.com/WI and use code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/WI, code WI.
Smoking hot deals just keep coming with quick hot savings from Quick Trip. And right now we're cooling off with $2.99 a gallon Nature's Touch milk. All 1 gallon, 2%, 1%, and skim Nature's Touch milk, just $2.99. Hey, looking to make that perfect movie night milkshake? Or how about making those morning waffles extra fluffy? Our fresh, straight from our dairy Nature's Touch milk is on sale and ready for your fridge. Quick hot savings from Quick Trip. Yeah, we're here to save you some moolah.
Join the Brewers at the all-new Winter Warm-Up Fan Event Saturday, January 13th. See your favorite Brewers players in a fun-filled live show and get early access to purchase opening day tickets. Don't miss out on the fun. Get tickets now at brewers.com/winterwarmup.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey, riding with you every mile since 1977.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruberg Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
If you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For everyone here. We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies us. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
The green and gold are going to the postseason. The celebration rolls on. You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Second and 9. Jones back to first down to lock it up.
That'll send Green Bay into the postseason with their 2 best games of the year back-to-back.
Tony Romo, Jim Nantz on the call for CBS. Packers put on a show for a national audience, and they're heading back to the postseason. Whew, feels good. Also felt good when we handed our dogs of the game earlier today. Dog of the game was brought to you by Sit Mean Sit. If your dogs don't always listen, or if you find yourself asking, why don't they listen to what I say? Look no further than Sit Mean Sit. You can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog. Contact Sit Mean Sit Dog Training today in Milwaukee or Waukesha. To schedule a free consultation, go to sitmeansit.com and check out their Milwaukee and Waukesha pages. Plenty of people out on the phone lines looking to celebrate. Usually it's the Bodabox wine line because, Bodabox makes great wine. But celebration.
Some fine wine.
It's some fine wine. Yeah, maybe it's the fine line tonight. Some Bodabox fine wine as we go out to 800-990-3776. Up next is Tim in Caledonia. Tim, thanks for waiting. You're on Green Bay Game Night.
Hey, Marquette, 7th and 8 people. That's great. But anyways, Aaron Jones and Love are co-dogs. They got to be co-dogs. But anyways, is Christian Watson and Dobbs going to be able to play next week? And this is way more impressive than Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre by far, because look at the receivers they had and look at the defenses they had. Way, way different, man. So I'm thinking it's pretty impressive. But you guys are also saying it could be on the defense's fault this year if they didn't go. But look at the offense. You guys are bringing up all these sprinkles. So you could have blamed a lot of things on this stuff. So I don't know. Crazy.
Yeah, a crazy turnaround, certainly, for the Green Bay Packers this season.
You just don't do it. Teams don't do it. Not with a young team.
No.
You'd say if a young team, what you would if you started bad and finished even worse, you'd say, hey, it's a young team. Mm-hmm. You don't. This is what a veteran team would have the potential to do, only if in the first few games people were hurt or, Aaron Rodgers is out or somebody's out. Young teams, you don't do this. That's why all the talk about how young the Packers are and making the playoffs.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
No, does not happen.
Start 2-5, you finish 5-12.
Yeah. It's not good. No. Not 9-8 and getting into the postseason.
Right. There's not one comment been made. Gabe, the key is the veteran leadership. I mean, they don't have many veterans, but it was those few veterans. There are none. There's no veteran leadership.
Mm-hmm.
The leadership would be Jordan Love. I don't know. Who are the leaders on the team?
Well, going in, you were kind of hoping for David Bakhtiari.
Yeah.
Hasn't really been around.
Nope.
Aaron Jones,
right?
Who I'm sure obviously has been around.
Missed a ton of games,
but he's still been around the team.
Jair Alexander.
You're hoping Jair Alexander. That's been a rocky road.
Yes.
But they still found a way to, and I think a lot of that is Jordan Love. When we hear that clip, let's go ahead and hear it again here, Max. I'm going to call for it like 7 more times tonight because I absolutely love it. But I'm calling for it because it has meaning. Like when Matt LaFleur says this, it's not just, hey, he's different than Aaron Rodgers, but also like guys are gravitating towards this dude. Here is what Matt LaFleur had to say about his quarterback, Jordan Love, after the game tonight.
Ones that know him in here, he's about the right. Sorry for that.
Don't apologize for it, Matt.
He's about all the right things, and the guy just comes to work every day, has a great attitude, is one of the guys, has really improved over the course of 4 years, and I'm just super happy for him. He's earned it.
Let's go out to Cullen in Sheboygan up next on that Boda Box Fine Wine line, 800-990-3776. Cullen, you're on Green Bay Game Night. Thanks for holding, man.
Hey, how's it going, Mark?
It's great. I mean,
so I want to talk about the Packers wide receivers. So I think going into next year, the core wide receivers should be Reed, Wicks, Heath, and Melton. I don't trust Watson or Dobbs. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, Watson and Dobbs aren't going anywhere. They're still on rookie deals, and you see what both of them can bring to the table. They're not going anywhere. And the previous caller asked, well, what about Watson and Dobbs for next week? Look, I have no idea. My guess is
vote against Watson just on the principle.
I told this to Jason this week because it looked like, again, based on all the quotes and everything with Watson, it looked like he was going to play. So it was a bit of surprise that he was still inactive for today's game.
Thing.
But I have no idea.
You don't care.
Nope.
You'd like him to play.
It'd be great.
You don't need him to play.
Nope.
I know. Think about that.
Yeah. Same thing with Dobbs. I'd like him out there. And you start to get a little bit thinner if both of those guys are out, but you still have, Malik Heath had a couple of good catches tonight. And you have both tight ends healthy. The lacerated kidney king is coming back. Had a catch tonight. They have weapons. They have depth. Which is so hard to imagine.
Another one of the surprising things is we've always had the ability to use injuries as an excuse if they lost. They've had the injuries, and they didn't lose.
What happened with Goody? Because the first 4 receivers that he drafted, you think of Amari Rodgers, you think of Jamon Moore. Well, Sternberger being a tight end, you could throw him in that mix too. Right. Equanimeous St. Brown, MVS was the best receiver he had drafted previous to this, and now in the last couple of drafts, he's hit all these guys, and we're excited to varying levels. I think about all of them.
Somebody has to know what happened.
If there was something, I don't know.
I don't know, different people judging it, or there was a different approach or something.
Yeah.
We know Goody's not going to say anything, but there has to be an answer to go from so bad
to potentially so good.
So good, and so bad for so many years. It wasn't just like 1 or 2 years. Every year. And it's not like any of those players went somewhere else where you can say, well,
No. Again, MVS got starter money from someone else. That's about it. Equanimeous St. Brown still in the league. The other ones are not.
I want to add to that Josiah DeGuara. Nothing. There's nothing there.
No,
so that
he's a guy.
Adds on to the other ones we put up.
But Josiah DeGuara is still in the league, so he's got that going for him, which is nice. 800-990-3776. Just fun, celebratory night here as the Packers are in the postseason. They'll play the Cowboys at some point, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We'll let you know when we know here on Green Bay Game Night. Let's go out to Mike in Waukesha. Mike, you're up next. It's Green Bay Game Night with Homer and Gabe.
Hey, guys. Thanks so much for having me on. Longtime Packer fan, short-time listener here. I'm actually from the Chicagoland area, but moved up to Wisconsin for college and whatnot. Like I said, longtime Packer fan. This team just seems so much different when I compare it to last season. You know what I'm saying? Like, we go through that whole stretch where it's like the Aaron Rodgers, the last game, walking off the field in the arms of Randall Cobb. That team, like older team, they just didn't seem like they wanted it, like they were kind of trending down towards like the end of the season. You knew that the Lions were kind of coming in hot that game and just kind of hit them in the mouth, and then we were all done. this team seems young. This team seems hungry. Like, I don't know. Like, watching these games, man, it's awesome. They are definitely very young. But
you don't say that about young teams. You just don't. You're saying it about this team. Young teams aren't strong. They're stupid. They make mistakes, even though if they're strong, they still screw up. Then they do well. Then they screw up, and they're just
young teams do kind of what the Lions did last year. They had some bad games, and they might pull off an upset at the end of the year to prevent you from going to do things. But they don't go 7-3 down the stretch and make the playoffs.
Right, having to do it so many weeks is what's difficult for young players, and this is not young players. This is an entirely young team.
Especially offensively.
Yes.
Especially offensively. Jason and Racine, you're up next. Jason, you're on with Homer and Gabe. It's Green Bay game night.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. So I kind of got a bone to pick with you guys. First of all, the team, I'm super excited, and I do believe they can go in and beat Dallas in a shootout. Maybe just because I'm a Packer fan, but I believe that. But getting back to why I'm disappointed in you guys, last week I called in and said that there's something to Aaron Rodgers sitting behind Favre for 3 years and then Love sitting behind Rodgers for 3 years. And you said, yeah, well, they got to have the talent and all that, which I agree with. But I also think any quarterback that comes to the NFL has elite arm talent. Look, he made some big boy throws out there today. I see the best of Favre and the best of Rodgers in him without the attitude that came towards the end of Rodgers' career. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, and look, I mean, yes, but also like Brett Favre had attitude at the end of his career, and Rodgers came in and was that breath of fresh air until he wasn't. You know, I don't want to like revisit that entire thing and like, yeah, and again, like you have to have the talent. I mean, Brock Osweiler sat behind Peyton Manning for a couple of years. How'd that work out for Brock Osweiler? I know he got a contract, somebody paid him, but it's not like he became a superstar NFL quarterback or ever did this.
People aren't going to copy this system. They're just not. Because the benefit now financially, this is where, to bring up the Bears, it's like, what if Williams is as good as Fields is now? You get him for so little money for the next few years, and that's a factor that everybody has to now consider that, well, if, say, Jordan Love becomes good, I'm going to have to pay him right away after we see him play 1 year. Who wants to do that? Well, that's really hard to do.
If your quarterback is as good as Jordan Love has looked over the last 8 weeks, you gladly pay him?
Correct.
But how many quarterbacks have looked as good as Jordan Love has over the last 8 weeks?
And versus having the ability to watch that player play.
Yeah. And being able to make that evaluation and have, be able to grow and do those
if you have a good team, as we've seen with a young quarterback, you can win a title.
Yeah, I mean
because you have so much money available for other stuff.
It started with Seattle, and when they had Russell Wilson when he was a 4th-round pick, and that was kind of the model. Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, and now he's getting paid, and you're seeing the effect that has in terms of the wide receivers that they're trying to cobble together. And in San Francisco, eventually, they've got to make a decision on paying some sort of quarterback at some point.
So if there was a thought of doing this, it's diminished or disappeared because of the additional part we've talked about.
Yeah, and again, like the reason why you're able to do this, if you're the Green Bay Packers, is because you had Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You had Aaron Rodgers ahead of him. You weren't moving on until, okay, it's now time to move on. Whereas most quarterbacks that are taken in the first round, like Caleb Williams is going to go number 1. Whether the Bears take him or whether they trade that pick, he's going to be starting for that team because he was the number 1 overall pick.
Right. And you have the additional benefit of, if he's really good, to do with just what you said other teams have done.
Yeah.
Massive talent elsewhere. Yeah. If you have a GM who can put it all together.
800-990-3776. Back to your calls on that Boda Box Fine Wine line here on Green Bay Game Night.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Ready to conquer the Midwest's premier winter playground? Then start planning a visit to Granite Peak. With over 200 acres of skiable terrain, Granite Peak has something for everyone. From beginners to seasoned pros, park skiers to mogul fanatics, and everything in between. Soar to new heights on their state-of-the-art chairlifts and warm up in the cozy historic chalet with roaring fireplaces and stunning views. A legendary winter adventure begins at Granite Peak. Don't miss out. Visit skigranitepeak.com to book your winter vacation now and for more information. Granite Peak. Legendary winters, legendary fun.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. Men can be their own worst critics, especially as we get older and compare our current self to the younger version. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown help men with testosterone optimization, regenerative medicines, heart health screenings, weight loss, and yes, sexual enhancement services. Forward Healthy Lifestyles can offer regained energy and endurance, more muscle and tone, enhanced performance, joint therapies, and more. Change your life and stop comparing who you are now to who you used to be. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
Q Club of Wisconsin is the hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
Gary, we have so much going on. We're still the place to be on game days to catch the green and gold. Book a holiday party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Plus, we got great live music every Saturday night. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where you know we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin offers some of the most energy efficient windows in the industry, designed to keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Pella's premium wood windows and patio doors feature distinguished craftsmanship and nearly endless possibilities, with maximum design flexibility in dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more. Hurry! To get the 0% interest up to 36 months, you have to book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. The Green and Gold are playoff bound. Join the celebration right here. This is Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Yeah, he's out. I mean, you can all see it. I mean, he's a difference maker, right? His ability to be out there and get explosive gains and, fight for some tough yardage, break tackles, both in the run game, pass game. He does a great job. He definitely takes a lot of pressure off other people.
Matt LaFleur talking about Aaron Jones. 22 carries, 111 yards today for Jones. Goes back to back for the first time in his career. 3 straight 100-yard rushing games. Packers win 17-9 over the Bears. They are headed back to the playoffs. They'll take on the Dallas Cowboys at Jerry World at a time and day to be determined. Now,
so can we say we think it's likely, or what's the proper phrase to use regarding Sunday at 3? Because you've stated it, the fan base of Green Bay and Dallas, as TV people would look at it, they're the two best.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's kind of looked at as the big window in terms of drawing a big number, is that 3:25 Central Time window. And typically, apparently, the Monday night game's been a 4-5 game, so the Packers would not be involved with that. I've seen that tweeted out a couple of times since they've gone to the Monday Night Football game in the last couple of years. It's been a 4 seed versus 5 seed, so that almost eliminates that game. I can't imagine they would put Packers Cowboys on Peacock on Saturday night. That just seems 0% chance happening. Unfortunately, that seems like a landing spot for your Browns, Max. That could be a possibility. Another 4-5 game. Browns-Texans almost screams Peacock to me.
Flacco fever is too good to be on Peacock. What are we talking about? But yeah, there's no chance Cowboys-Packers is on Peacock.
No chance of that. So I think it's going to be either Sunday afternoon or Sunday night. That's just kind of my gut feeling based on how all of this works.
Because in the first week of the playoffs, you don't often have these amazing games.
Yes. Again, these are two of the bigger fan bases, and when these two teams go head-to-head, it's going to draw a big rating because people recognize the Packers brand, Cowboys brand.
Right. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers was on the Packers, it would guarantee that it would be that game.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. And I feel
Jordan Love might be better right now than Aaron Rodgers was last year, but that's not... They're just a huge group of people that don't know anything about this year's Packer team.
Yes. 800-990-3776. Again, if we find out something, if they throw something up on the NBC broadcast tonight, we'll certainly let you know. 800-990-3776 is the number to join the show. Let's go to Nick, who's driving back from the game. Nick was in attendance. Nick, welcome to Green Bay Game Night.
Hey there, guys. It was fantastic. RIP to my voice to start. Went up with my wife. We just got married in May.
Oh, congratulations.
Together as a married couple. Thank you very much. We're both from the Chicagoland area. RIP to all our friends from home and their terrible football team, their terrible organization. The Chicago Bears gave us, I would say that's the best punch the Bears have thrown at the Packers in a while. And it still couldn't land. So I was not expecting a Packers playoff team this year, but I got it anyways. Best year the Bears can help for is to maybe kick us out of the playoffs in Week 18, and they still can't do it. So what a great night. Thank you.
Well, thank you for calling in, Nick. Certainly appreciate it, and best of luck at work tomorrow with your voice. Let's be honest about that. 800-990-3776. Let's go out to Fargo and Mike. Mike, you are on Green Bay Game Night with Homer and Gabe.
Hey, Homer, Gabe. I was at the game also. Love threw some that slant there right in front of me to Reed there, or some other nice passes. But anyway, getting back to a couple other things. Back to what the other caller said about, Love. And, it obviously it helps. I mean, you need the smarts. I mean, everybody has a good arm in the NFL, but you need the smarts to be able to do it. And being behind Rodgers, obviously, I'm sure helped Jordan Love and all that. And the other thing is looking back at, I don't want to look back at last year, but I'm just going to mention it. Rodgers is throwing the ball to Dobbs, Watson. And I don't even know if they're the 1 and 2 wide receivers on this team. But if you add them up, you got six receivers: Watson, Dobbs, Reed, Heath, Wicks, Bo Melton, and you got Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. It reminds me of Rodgers when he started out, when he had Driver, Jennings, Jordy, James Jones, Jermichael Finley. That's what it's starting to remind me of, a young, group like that. And as far as last year, Rodgers throwing to Watson, Dobbs, Sammy Torrey, Sammy Watkins. You look at that season. I mean, last year they're lucky they won as many games as they did. But anyway, moving forward, one last thing is my dogs go out to Tucker Kraft, who I think is really excelled since Musgrave has been out. And once Musgrave comes back, once Musgrave and them two guys get going back to the old Farr, Chimera, and Jackson, that's some tough cooking there. Kraft is some great blocks, finished kind of the game right at the 2-minute warning or close to it. And then the other one I just have to go with Kenny Clark. I just think Kenny Clark the last X amount of weeks has been playing excellent football. He gets double teamed more than he can shake a stick at, and he opens up other stuff for Preston Smith, who played good, and Walker. And I know Tauscher's already gone, but I just wanted to let him know when I see him out in San Francisco, I'll buy him a beer, and I'll just leave it on that. I know you're going to say, well, we're playing Dallas. What I'm saying is I'll see you in San Francisco.
All right, I like it, Mike. He's confident heading to Dallas next week against the Cowboys. You can join the conversation, 800-990-3776. That is the Boda Box Wine Line. If you're heading home from the game right now, wishing there was a better way, maybe you'd rather take a nap or keep the party going instead of getting behind the wheel. And there's a perfect and safe solution. Milwaukee Broadhouse, Jack's American Pub, and Wanakee Golf Course all offer transportation on game days. They've got bus services with private restrooms and all-you-can-drink packages. Next year, make sure you book that round-trip ride from any of these locations and get complimentary access to an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate at the bar on Holmgren Way. Make your game day experience a VIP experience with your official ride to Green Bay with Herd Hospitality and Golf Wanakee, WANAKI.com. Back to your calls in 2 minutes on the third hour of Green Bay Game Night. We'll have Jason Wilde. We'll have your calls. We'll keep the party rolling as the Packers are back in the playoffs. Back to Green Bay Game Night in just 2 minutes.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game-time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Fleet Farm has everything you need for happy backyard birds. And we mean everything. Like over 100 different types of wild bird foods and bird feeders. This week, get a 25-pound bag of black oil sunflower wild bird food for just $13.99. Plus, join us Saturday, January 13th at 9 a.m. to build and decorate a free birdhouse with your kids. Create family memories and find what you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, here's out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
You heard the final whistle. That means the postgame is ready to roll. This is Green Bay Game Night, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside Homer and Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher, here's Gabe Neitzel.
It didn't seem possible. Seemed that there was no chance. They were 2-5. They couldn't score points against the Vikings. They could barely move the ball.
They couldn't get a first down.
Everything seemed so hard. It was difficult. Nobody was ever open. Love was under constant duress. And yet, In the final 10 games, the Green Bay Packers go 7-3. They rally to make the postseason at 9-8, defeating the Bears today at Lambeau Field 17-9. The Packers are your 7th seed in the NFC, heading to Dallas next weekend on a date and time still to be determined. Again, my best guess is they announce all of that and unveil it all after the Sunday Night Football game wraps up, which has been a really ugly game so far. Josh Allen's thrown 2 interceptions in the end zone. It is scoreless with 10 minutes left in the first half.
Buffalo will win.
Miami has also thrown an interception. Yeah, it hasn't been great so far, but after that game is likely when everything is going to be announced. Maybe at halftime, they leak out what the NFC schedule looks like since that playoff field and the matchups are set. And only the AFC playoff matchups are going to be determined by this game, as both those teams will also be in the postseason. But we're celebrating. We're having a good time tonight with the Green Bay Packers back in the playoffs, baby. Let's get back out to the Boda Box Fine Wine line, 800-990-3776. Dan in New Jersey. Dan, you're up next on Green Bay Game Night.
Good evening, guys. Just had a few points. Very excited about this team. Very excited watching this offense. And a couple other things that I don't think any callers have mentioned on. I'm very excited that we will not be on Hard Knocks next year.
Whew.
And thank you. Have a great night, guys.
Yeah, avoided that bullet. Certainly appreciate the call, Dan. I have no doubt, had the Packers lost this game, they would have been on Hard Knocks. No doubt in my mind that they would have been on Hard Knocks, and they avoid that. 800-990-3776. Let's go out to Greg in Kenosha. Greg, you're up next. It's Green Bay Game Night, a playoff party edition, as the Packers are back in the postseason.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Greg.
Okay. Yeah, your thoughts on Jordan Love as an MVP? You know, favorites are Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it's over.
Like the heads-on favorite.
Yeah, he'll be lucky to get a vote.
Jordan Love's stats are very similar, if not better, than Lamar Jackson. Plus, I don't want to see Joe Barry again next year.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
He'll be lucky to get a vote.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he hasn't played at the level the last how many games
Yeah.
as well as anybody in the NFL.
Additionally, his passing numbers are that good, yes, but Lamar also has like 800 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. And I believe I saw the odds for Lamar.
1-15?
No. Minus 10,000. You had to bet. And if
10,000 to win 100.
Yes, if you're unfamiliar with gambling, Homer just explained it.
Yeah.
That's how heavy of a favorite Lamar was this past week. They rested him clearly. And again, that does not take away from the fact that Jordan Love's played at that level over the last 8 games.
Right.
Now, the previous, 9 games before that were a little shaky. But for the last 8 games, he has played at that level. And if you're a Packers fan, that's really the only thing that matters.
What it means is, before the start of next season, he'll be talked about as a possible MVP candidate.
Yeah, he'll be on, short lists if people are giving top 5 lists. Oh, yeah, hey, look out for Jordan Love this year. That team's only going to get better and that sort of thing. But no, Jordan Love as an MVP candidate, sorry, not going to happen this year. But certainly you have hope for him going forward. 800-990-3776. Raleigh in Oak Creek is up next. Raleigh, you're on Green Bay Game Night with Homer and Gabe. We're rolling along, having a good time here on Green Bay Game Night.
Hi. I have found over the years that the most successful football teams have sufficient depth to overcome inevitable injuries. I'm trying to think of a position group on the Packers now where they're vulnerable. For example, if O-lineman can't play and his backup is just terrible, which is kind of what we saw a little bit with the Bears tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Packers have plenty of depth. I think you've seen that offensively. And that was kind of the tough thing to figure out because everybody was worried, and they were obviously not high, and maybe still not high on Josh Nijman, as Walker has played left tackle after David Bakhtiari went down. But they have some depth along that offensive line. They have depth at wide receiver in Bo Melton. Backed up what he did last week. It wasn't as good, but 5 catches for 62 yards. That backs up a 100-yard game from a guy you had never heard of when this, 10 games, 7-3 streak started. They've got depth. They've found some different pieces offensively in different places.
No, they're right now, once this season ends, whenever, it's about finding stuff that's special. The need of Jordan Love to be special, because making the playoffs is fine, 9-8 is fine. That doesn't put you among the elite. They will be viewed as potentially in that group based on the belief and willingness and who becomes special.
Yeah. You need someone from that wide receiver group to be special. I think the leading candidate would be Jaden Reed to be special, but who knows?
Yeah,
who emerges out of that
group to choose from?
Yeah.
And they'll need to have some special people defensively.
The exciting thing is, last year when it was just the two guys, when it was Dobbs and Watson, and those were the two that you were looking forward to, because they didn't have Musgrave and Kraft and Reed and Wicks and all these other guys yet. But my thought was, okay, you need one of those guys to really emerge.
Yes.
And I wasn't going to count on both of them, because I don't know if it's ever happened where you've had two guys from the same draft class really emerge and be that good. Maybe back-to-back draft classes. You've seen the young receivers in Cincinnati and some of the things they've done. But from the same draft class, you're thinking, okay, one of those guys can emerge. Well, they've kind of taken a back seat then to the two guys this year in Reed and Wicks. But the good news is you have four guys. And if one of the four emerges as special, because eventually you're going to have to decide, who do I pay, who do I not pay, who do I keep, all these different things. And it's going to be easy. Whoever emerges out of that group as the special one, that's the one you keep, that's the one you pay. And you've got to... Out of the four, I feel pretty good that at least one of them is going to emerge and be that special receiver.
Yeah, looking at the Packers, and I guess we wonder about Aaron Jones. I think they're going to, I would assume, bring him back, try to figure out
some sort of reduced salary.
But, the Packer offense should be top 5 in the league next year.
Yeah.
5. So and when you're that elite in the recent NFL over the last 7-8 years, those are the teams that make the Super Bowl. Your offense has to be that good. Your defense needs to be good, but not dominant like it was for many, many years. It's all about, like, the last 7 teams, the last 7 Super Bowls, all of the teams in it, win or lose, have been top 7 in points scored, or even 5, 6. And
I think you'd almost have to go back. So I would say
Denver.
The 8. Yeah. So I think that would be the team. That would be the last team that had a dominant defense. And Denver, even though Peyton Manning was their quarterback, did not get elite quarterback play. Whereas a lot of those other teams did. Even though you think about the Philadelphia Eagles when they won their Super Bowl, yeah, they had Nick Foles. But Nick Foles outdueled Tom Brady. Like, Nick Foles played like a high-level quarterback in that playoff run for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The last 4 Super Bowl winning teams in points given up, 16th, 15th, 8th, and 7th. In offense, 1st, 8th, 3rd, 4th, 4th, 3rd, 3rd. Denver was 19th offensively and 4th defensively.
Yeah.
Seattle was the same way.
Yep.
9th offensively, 1st defensively. Those teams... they're not the top teams on defense. Isn't enough anymore.
No.
And that's where you have to be most excited about the Packers, because you'd appear you don't even have to pick. I don't have to say, well, Christian Watson has to be this good. No, he doesn't. It might be somebody else.
Yeah.
And it might be somebody else after that. At tight end, it could be both.
If it ends up being both, awesome. But if it ends up just being one,
right.
I like the chances of one of those two guys becoming
as you
special.
said, at some point you'll have to pick. But they're so young, you don't have to pick right away.
Nope. You got a few years here to figure all that out. And that's, again, part of the exciting thing going forward for the Green Bay Packers. 800-990-3776. Let's go back out to that Botobox Fine Wine line. Ron in Sheboygan, you're on Green Bay Game Night with Homer and Gabe.
Good evening, gentlemen. This was the night that I've been waiting for personally, because the last shovel of dirt on the former era can be shoveled on. Earlier this week, Matt LaFleur was asked, what's the difference this year as opposed to last year going into a very similar game? And he said, the vibe on this team is just way different. It's way better. And then he was asked the same question tonight, and he said, I'm done talking about last year. He's thrown the last shovel of dirt on the last era.
Yeah.
There was an albatross across the neck of this team since 2018, when he got his head coach fired, then tried to get his general manager fired, then begged to be traded, then threw his wide receivers under the bus, then threw the new coach under the bus with his offense, then would go on McAfee and complain about all of his wide receivers. If he's doing that kind of stuff in public, what do you think is going on behind the scenes in the locker room? The vibe is different now. The albatross is gone. And you can just tell by the excitement in everybody, but particularly the head coach and what's happening. This team is different, and it's different because the albatross is gone. And I'm hoping, against all hope, that the talent on ESPN Wisconsin, the light bulb goes on at some point, and they go, I think I was wrong. I think it was the proper time to draft Jordan Love and the proper time to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, and tonight is the night that verifies that. Thank you, gentlemen.
Ron in Sheboygan, 800-990-3776. Tim from Colorado Springs hitting us up on the text line. Is it plausible Matt LaFleur designated Watson as inactive because he felt the other receivers were more worthy of playing? No. I think if Watson's healthy, he plays. Because we saw what happened the last few games that he was healthy. He was a big part of what Matt LaFleur wanted to do in terms of taking deep shots, in terms of having him active and using his speed. I think that it is, maybe he suffered a setback. I have no idea. No idea. Who knows if he plays against Dallas? Hope he does. If he doesn't, we move on.
Yeah.
But Watson is, if he's healthy enough to play, he's not going to be a healthy scratch.
But just think, there won't be one person. They need Watson.
Yeah.
They need that. No, they don't. I mean, think of that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for the depth, if I'd like to have Watson or Dobbs, I'd like to have one of them just from a health standpoint.
But there is not a significant drop-off. There just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's incredible.
I think you start getting into significant drop-off rate when you go from Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs to Malik Heath.
Yeah. Right, but you have something.
You have other
between
guys,
there.
yes.
Yeah, and they're first-year guys.
Yeah, Yep.
And the need for a veteran wide receiver was both appropriate and understandable, but they've trumped that as well. They haven't needed one.
No, but one of those guys emerging as a special receiver, in terms of if you want to be a top 5 offense.
Yes, someone has to.
Somebody has to.
Yes.
But again, that's a problem for next year.
Right. But now you thought you had 2 options. How many do you have now? 4? It's crazy. When the guy couldn't draft a good wide receiver for how many years? 5?
All of
4?
them? All of them till
the last 2.
Yeah, all of them till the last 2. Yeah, the best one he had taken before was MVS.
Right. You look at, DeGuara. They got it. They picked him in the 3rd round. Maybe it was to partially be a fullback, whatever you're talking about. And nothing. And then these guys show up. Kraft. Musgrave's hurt. No problem. This guy just fills in.
Yeah. Oh, we'll just put Tucker Kraft in. It's not a big deal.
And
we'll be
I'm
okay.
like you. I'd love to. Goody's not. I'd love to know an answer.
What changed the last 2 years?
Yes. There was no reason to have confidence in his selection of wide receivers and tight ends. None.
Correct.
And
now you're excited if he takes a wide receiver.
Right. Now when you say you have all these picks, now you go because part of the issue was you have all those picks, but I'm not sure I want him picking them.
Yeah.
And now, you say yes. Ron Wolf taught everybody, no one's perfect. You mess up all the time. It's how many good ones do you have? Mm-hmm. If he hits Jordan Love as it's moving in that direction, it's the same way as Ted Thompson hitting Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the rest of the draft class becomes irrelevant.
Yes.
Now you've got that special guy. What do you do to build around him?
Right.
There's still time to make a holiday gift to the Salvation Army. Donations go directly to those in need in your community and help with everyday essentials like food, hydration, clothing, and shelter. Visit samilwaukee.org. That's samilwaukee.org to make your donation today. Back to your calls on that Butterbox celebration line, fine wine line, whatever we want to call it. We're celebrating. Packers are in the playoffs on Green Bay Game Night.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Night will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesch.com to learn more.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Join the Brewers at the all-new Winter Warm-Up Fan Event Saturday, January 13th. See your favorite Brewers players in a fun-filled live show and get early access to purchase opening day tickets. Don't miss out on the fun. Get tickets now at brewers.com/winter warm-up.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Check out our brand new Hyundai dealership, one of the largest in the Midwest.
Step inside of our state-of-the-art showroom where you can view our new Hyundai models and some of our finest certified pre-owned.
We've also expanded our service center, staffed by our factory certified technicians.
And right next door, we've started construction on our all-new Genesis of Waukesha dealership.
But we're not just building walls, we're building careers.
So if you're looking for a career with great benefits and opportunity for growth, Boucher is the place for you.
At Boucher, we ride with you every mile.
Hey, it's Jason Wilding for Associated Bank. Here in Wisconsin, we love our sports year-round, right down to the Packers games in the Lambeau snow. If you want to show your love for the green and gold every day, you got it with Associated Bank's exclusive Packers checking account. A one-of-a-kind debit card, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, plus everything you'll score as an Associated Bank customer. Best of all, you'll get a banking partner based right here in the Midwest. Visit AssociatedBank.com/Packers to get started today. You've got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
Jordan Love and the Green and Gold are headed to the playoffs. The reaction continues on all night long. It's Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
It's been a season of... Oh, I'm not interrupting him. Go ahead. No, I want to hear him.
Go and earn it. And certainly going to Dallas is not going to be an easy task. Got a lot of respect for what Coach McCarthy's been able to establish there. They got a lot of great players. You know, we saw them last year, and it was a tough battle. So, you know, we're going to have to be at our best in order to go down there and come away with the victory.
Just like today, doesn't matter what happens, it's a win. It's been a season of ups and downs, really ups now.
Ending with an up, though, baby.
Yes, huge up. Empire State Building up. That can be expected with the young roster and the starting quarterback, who's now a star. Something that isn't so inconsistent could be your pregame tailgating game plan. Stop by the local store and stock up for your tailgate with a Noka Boozy Iced Tea. For those looking for a non-alcoholic option, pick up Athletic NA Craft Beers and Liquid Death Mountain Water. Our guests at the Tundra Trio enjoy these products at the pregame tailgate all season in Green Bay. Pick up Noka Boozy Iced Tea, Athletic NA Craft Beers, and Liquid Death Mountain Water for your next tailgate. And there's time for another one.
Going to continue to take your calls here, 800-990-3776. Jason Wilde scheduled to join us at 8:45. It's going to be the final segment of tonight's show, so we'll try to get as many of your calls in as possible because I know people are excited. We're excited. Packers back in the playoffs after their 17-9 win over the Chicago Bears tonight at Lambeau Field. Let's go to Ben in Boston. Ben, you're on Green Bay Game Night with Homer and Gabe.
Hey, everybody. I just wanted to give some shout-outs for what's going on in the season so far. First shout-out is to Jordan Love and Aaron Jones. They have made this season possible. There's no way that without their individual efforts, we would have gotten to the playoffs. That's where we are. On the team side, got to give a major shout-out to the defensive side. There's been a whole bunch of people who've been putting out individual efforts, but as a squad, they have really jumped up. The Rashawn Gary and Van Ness and everybody who's been jumping in to make sure that we get into the playoffs has been really great. And then lastly, just the coaching staff and everybody. I've been skeptical. I've been really hard personally about the defensive staff. But Joe Barry came out, we talk about players getting better as the season goes on. Joe Barry has made a strong move in the last few games to show that he's ready to get into the playoffs. I'm excited to see how we go against the Cowboys. And I just want us to put everything on the table because we're playing with house money. When I came into the season, I said I thought we're going to be a 7-10 team. We're not a 7-10 team. We're a team that's in the playoffs, and that's what I want to see going into next week.
Yeah, they're a playoff team, and that's exciting. And what makes tonight exciting, and I've had a couple of friends that I've been texting with during the commercial breaks, this is just so much fun because it's unexpected. For so long, with Aaron Rodgers, you have those expectations and then you have those disappointments, and there's no disappointment. Even if they go and lose in Dallas next week, they've opened up as 7.5-point underdogs in that one. So even if they go to Dallas and lose next week, nobody's expecting them to win. It'd be great if they did. I'm hoping hell they win next week. No idea if they will or not.
You have to accept anything's possible, even if it isn't this year.
Correct. But it doesn't.
To beat Dallas would not be the most surprising thing they've done this season.
Ooh. Maybe in just one game, probably. But overall, what they've done in the last 10 games,
from 2 to 5 to where they are,
correct,
is more surprising than even.
But like Ben just said, we're playing with house money. Who cares if they win or lose next week?
And you're curious to see what happens.
Yeah.
Dallas,
I'm excited for
Dallas has done goofy things. Now, not at home as much.
Yeah, at home they've been.
They're going to score a lot of points.
Really good.
But it's possible the Packers could score a lot of points.
Yeah. Very, very possible. So, and but there aren't the expectations going into next week.
No.
You've already won this year. This year is a success. You made the postseason. When nobody you're the youngest team to make the postseason. And that's the fun part about this team because the expectations, I have no doubt,
are
coming back next year.
They aren't going to go public with this, but this is the kind of reason that the NFL wanted to expand the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
How many years? This is what, year number 3?
Yeah, this is the third year.
This is the third year in which the Packers would have made the playoffs. They're the 7th team.
Yep.
They would have had a chance, but they would have been sadly left out because of the Rams.
Yep.
Win. So you see the benefit of adding an extra playoff team because it creates a story like you have with the Green Bay Packers. This story doesn't exist. Nice job. You got to...
Mm-hmm. But they get in
to making the playoffs.
They
changes everything.
They could make history next week. Be the first 7 seed to win a playoff game.
Yes, and you went over them. There are 4 to this point.
Yep, only one was a
3
good
did
game.
about as well as the Titanic, and there was 1
14-plus point losses.
Yes,
and one team played a close game that was last year against Buffalo.
I mean, if you would have told me that if the Packers win today, they're going to lose by 50 to the Cowboys, say fine.
Yeah,
make it 100.
Who cares?
I don't care.
They got there. And that's the important part for this team at this moment in time.
And you want to see, more than anything else, what Jordan Love can do in the next biggest game as a starter.
Yep. Yeah, because each game has kind of ramped up with more and more because you knew you had to win last week at Minnesota. You knew you had to. You got to the game. You knew it was winning in, and there was no way to magically 2% backdoor your way in by the time the game kicked off. You knew if you lost, you were out. So it was essentially a playoff game. And you went out there and did that? I can't wait to see what he does for an encore next week in Dallas.
And I will go back to what Tausch says. The key is going to be to give Jordan Love the amount of time he needs. Because if he gets the time he needs, they can put up 30 on Dallas.
Yeah, they can hang. They certainly can hang with the Dallas Cowboys. Sean at Sud Prairie, you're up next. Sean, you're on Green Bay Game Night with Homer and Gabe.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's going great, Sean. How are you?
Excellent. Couple thoughts. One, do we think it might have been a little that Joe Barry, like the die has been cast on, like he's fired no matter what he does going forward, so he might as well he's kind of got the what attitude, F it, and let's just do what we can and to win games, and maybe he's a little liberated by that he can't do anything wrong because he's already getting fired. So maybe
I would be surprised just knowing how Matt LaFleur is. I just don't see him being like that. But there's no way to know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, do you think he's liberated and calling a better play game? I mean, they held them to 9 points. We lost the turnover battle 2-0, and if you count the missed field goal at the end of half, that was 3 possessions technically that we lost out on. I think the defense was great against a team that was looking to embarrass us at home, and I just think that Joe Barry knows the die is cast on him.
Okay.
So why not just be aggressive and do what we need to do to win? It looks like in the last 2 weeks. Now
last week was assisted by Minnesota not playing a real quarterback.
I just see Matt LaFleur walk in office and say, "Don't listen to all that crap.
Yeah,
just do your job." And they may have had differences in certain games. I just don't. There's nothing about Matt LaFleur in terms of everything that he overreacts. He underreacts, and it certainly appears to have been the way to do things this year.
Fact. And then secondly,
anything's possible. Man, Carolina's not scoring a point.
The next 2 weeks.
They didn't score a point the rest of the year.
No, he had the ability.
They scored 2 touchdowns in like 6 minutes in the fourth quarter.
And I don't even know if that's the worst. So they gave up 363 yards rushing to Philadelphia, right?
Last year.
Okay, then this Carolina one, and it seems like there's another one that's
Tommy DeVito's bad.
Yes, there you go. That's the third one.
I mean, Baker Mayfield. Perfect quarterback rating.
Joe Barry has the ability to be historically bad.
Yes.
On a number of occasions, yet, as I said with this year, when you add up the numbers for whatever the reason, he's still top 10, which wouldn't seem possible given those mistakes.
Specialist of the game on Green Bay Game Night, brought to you by our friends at Prevail Orthopedics. Sports medicine knows power starts with the hips.
Not going to be the kicker.
With Dr. Michael Ryan and a team of experts in Green Bay, you get comprehensive and advanced hip care unlike anywhere else. Prevail Orthopedics, preserving your hips so you can preserve your goals. What it says here is, hosts share what special moments made an impact on the game. So not necessarily special teams player. Special moment, I mean, pick any one of number of Jordan Love throws. Like, he had a number of special throws. And that's the next step here, Homer, in terms of when everything seems so difficult. And we were like, oh, man, if he has a really good back half of the season, maybe he can get over 60%. But he's sprinted past, like, maybe that. I mean, it ends up in the 63 percentile or in that area in terms of completion percentage. But he's making those wow throws on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But he's gone from not only can he complete those passes, he can make the tough ones, the really tough ones. And that's really special.
Well, and he showed the ability to have the strong arm that people talked about. But to have the strong arm when you need the strong arm.
Yeah.
And to have the strong arm in certain plays when you need it. By the way, back to my premise about the games and seasons. Love getting his into the playoffs for the first season as a full-time starting quarterback. It wasn't until year 2 that Favre and Rodgers led the Packers to the playoffs. And please understand, I'm not sure, I don't know that they would have made it, but the same number of teams weren't in the playoffs then.
Yep.
It was more difficult to do it. So no one wants to go there because it just don't ruin my party. But no, my point is, you don't have to do this stuff to speak of the amazing thing that he's done.
And it's going to be fun next week.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. No matter what. Going to be
Doesn't
fun.
matter which players are hurt in the offense. You expect them. I mean, I expect them to put up. I'll be disappointed less than 27 against Dallas.
Dallas at home is just a different beast. 'Cause,
I know.
I mean, they've had some injuries now defensively as well. I thought I saw Gilmore had a shoulder injury. Not sure if he returned to the game
they have a
tonight.
highly touted defensive coordinator.
They've got Micah Parsons. I mean, yeah, they just came out with that list. I think Quinn was, third on the NFLPA list of best defensive coordinators in the league. It's a pretty good defense over there, too.
So I mean, I'm setting a high standard.
They got some breaks, the Cowboys did, to be the 2 seed. But at the end of the day, they had the second best season in the NFC. That's a tough place to go in and win. Not saying it's impossible to do. It's just, and the number reflects it. Packers 7.5-point dogs. Not saying they can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just going to be tough.
Even home and away,
the defense traveled
for 5th in points given up.
Yeah.
So again, that means that even with these bad games that they've had, and there've been some. They've had some other...
Yeah, I mean, it's been more the offense, because the offense averages nearly 40 points at home and 20 points on the road. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that offensively. Back to your phone calls before we get to Jason Wilde here on Green Bay Game Nights. You are next.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game-time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Ready to conquer the Midwest's premier winter playground? Then start planning a visit to Granite Peak. With over 200 acres of skiable terrain, Granite Peak has something for everyone. From beginners to seasoned pros, park skiers to mogul fanatics, and everything in between. Soar to new heights on their state-of-the-art chairlifts and warm up in the cozy historic chalet with roaring fireplaces and stunning views. A legendary winter adventure begins at Granite Peak. Don't miss out. Visit skigranitepeak.com to book your winter vacation now, and for more information, Granite Peak. Legendary winters, legendary fun.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin offers some of the most energy-efficient windows in the industry, designed to keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Pella's premium wood windows and patio doors feature distinguished craftsmanship and nearly endless possibilities, with maximum design flexibility in dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more. Hurry! To get the 0% interest up to 36 months, you have to book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, here's out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
The green and gold are going to the postseason. The celebration rolls on. You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Yeah, I thought our defense was outstanding. Anytime you hold anybody under 10 points, you better find a way to win that football game. So, outstanding effort by our defense. You know, I know he's taken a lot of criticism, we all have. But he's a tough-minded guy that continues to show up and put in the work. And you know, our guys were battling out there tonight. I thought the effort was outstanding.
As expected, the Packers are kicking off at 3:30 on Sunday. Adam Schefter tweeting that just moments ago. That is the first playoff game that would leak. I was hoping that would happen before we would get off the air.
Fans should take credit. The fan interest and all the numbers and the audience that you get. This is one thing where the fans make a difference.
100%. Mm-hmm.
Even though Dallas hasn't done diddly in the playoffs for how many years?
Good news for our producer, Max Meyerson. Those who have Flacco fever, you don't have to watch on Peacock. It'll be on regular NBC at 4:30 on Saturday.
Let's go. Just keep me off Peacock, and I'm good, man.
Yeah, I have no idea what the Peacock game is going to end up being now, but Browns-Texans going to kick off the super wild card weekend next week. Adam Schefter starting to leak some of these game times, although not every opponent is even known. Still waiting on Buffalo-Miami. By the way, Miami leading that one 14-7. Buffalo on the move late in the first half. By the way,
Dallas is averaging about 38 points a game.
At home
in their 8 games. They've been over 40 4 times.
That's a lot of points.
Which you'd have to get average 38.
To average 38. It's ridiculous how good they've been at home, especially offensively. 800-990-3776.
So I bring that up because for Joe Barry to pull a Joe Barry, they'd have to put up 70. Because 40 would be, hey.
And that's just what they do. That's what they do at home.
Put their punter in the second half and put up 70.
Earl in Racine, you're up next. Thanks for waiting, Earl, on Green Bay Game Night.
Hey, guys, what a night, huh?
Oh, it's a great night, Earl. A fantastic night, a special night. I'm having a good time.
Some immortal words from the former coach of the Packers. Can the Packers beat Dallas? Hell yeah.
Going to take a big effort. Going to take a big effort to beat them inside AT&T Stadium.
They can do well. I don't think they could beat Detroit. They couldn't beat Kansas City. You know, I mean, how could they beat the Cowboys?
It's true. They've done things over the course of the season.
And the dog
sure.
Tonight, one dog, don't forget about Carrington Valentine. He was beat on the play. The tight end was wide open in the end zone, but he managed to recover and deflected. He possibly could have intercepted it, but he deflected it. And if the Bears scored there, then it's possible to get a 2-point conversion and we got a tie game. So let's hear it for Carrington, dog. Valentine.
We haven't gotten, we can hear from Jason, but as far as Jair, it would seem like he played pretty well.
Yeah, he had the one pass breakup in the end zone. But, yeah, he wasn't shadowing DJ Moore around, but, yeah, he was out there. And, again, he was part of a defense that played pretty well tonight. Let's go out to Sugar Free. Sugar Free is up next here on Green Bay Game Night.
Gentlemen, the defense did it. I'm going to tell you, Joe Barry defeats Dallas and San Fran. He's coming back 100%. They get to the NFC Championship game. I'm excited for the defense because I put a lot of money on this game.
Why don't you go out on the trunk even more and say if they win the Super Bowl, Joe Barry's coming back?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
I didn't say that, Homer. I didn't say that, Homer. But
you might as well have. You might as well have.
Hey, Homer. I also
if they
thought
beat
the
Dallas, he's coming back. I think he might be coming back anyway. But if they beat Dallas,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go to the defense real quick here, so I can get you guys can get a couple more calls. But they need to put Alexander on Lamb. I'm going to tell you, that's his safety blanket. That's Dak's safety blanket. Get him out of the game.
It's more of a safety. It's more like safety blanket. Like Chewy was a safety blanket, right? Like Sterling Sharp was just damn good. Like that's what we're talking about
like
here.
A blanket for 10.
Yeah, like
not a safety blanket.
Lamb's got like 1,500 yards.
You can't put a zone out there on Lamb. You need to get that going, and you need to put pressure on Dak. And then the offense next week, like I thought this week, they need to open it up a little bit more. They need to stop being a little bit conservative. This quarterback's really good, and Watson better be back next week.
Gabe, did you think they were conservative today?
Not in the slightest.
I thought they were.
Not even a little
bit. They got field goals. The offense was better than 17 points would make you think.
9.9 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
That's not conservative.
No, and you should put
I'm
up.
going to tell you, 17 points is not going
to. Because they made mistakes, right? Like they made mistakes. That I don't think that means they were conservative by any stretch of the imagination. Like they left 3 points on the out there with the missed field goal,
fumble,
had the fumble, and then screwed up at the end of the first half. Like they screwed up. Like that doesn't mean that they weren't.
By the way, I hate that rule. I hate that rule. You're out of bounds. You're out of bounds.
Yeah, but you got to
decide.
Yeah, they put that in a long time ago.
They want to put the clock going, but it's just so you shouldn't have to make an official make that decision. Like he's going forward.
But that wasn't much of a decision.
That wasn't much of a decision. I just think you go out of bounds. The clock stops. Period.
Yeah.
If you go down before you get out of bounds,
but it's
not whether you're going forward or backwards.
It's kind of the same thing. Like you're running backwards just to get out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like the defense did their job, and you shouldn't get the freebie. Like enough rules already favor the offense.
Fine.
Like, you got to be able to be going forward to get that clock stoppage, and he knows that. Like that's. It's not like it was new this year and he got confused. It's just
got hit hard.
Got to put a little more. Yeah, you just got to make sure you get out of bounds. Let's quickly get to these last two because everybody's been patiently waiting before we get to Jason. I want to get to these last two calls. So we'll go out to Brendan, who is driving back from the game. Brendan, you're on Green Bay Game Night.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call. I just wanted to say I feel like this Green Bay team has been on the up and up. I feel like they're peaking at the right time. Do you guys think that other teams are scared of us coming into this playoffs?
I think they might be scared of the offense. I don't think that a team that's scoring 38 points per game at home is scared of any defense, right? Like the Cowboys at home, the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium, as that offense rolls people there, they're not scared of any defense.
Nobody averaging that number of points is.
Yeah. So, but I mean, again, could the Packers find themselves in a shootout against the Cowboys? Very possibly so. But I don't think the Cowboys are fearful of any defense in the NFL the way they've been rolling at home. And let's go to Carl, who is at the game. Carl, you're up next on Green Bay Game.
Here we go. Hey, how you doing, guys?
We're doing great,
ticket
Carl.
Holder
Attaboy.
from Naperville, Illinois. And Mr. Reed, number 11, is from Naperville. It's great to be a Packer fan.
Oh,
How
yes.
about that one? And I'm so happy I'm driving back to Illinois and a lot of the Bear fans aren't good drivers, for what that's worth. Hey, have a good night, gentlemen.
Didn't know?
Oh, hey, good to know, though. Now you know.
I can see they'd be a little depressed.
Yeah.
Though I think if I were a Bears fan,
yeah,
I wouldn't be the slightest bit surprised. I would assume we're always going to lose to the Packers. And when it happens that we
10
win
in a row.
I know. LaFleur, that's like a record, I think.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever won their first 10 games. But if you're a Bears fan, you just assume you're going to lose to the Packers.
Yep.
And when it happens, then I'll admit I'm wrong. Because I've been right for, what is it? The number's incredible. 22-3 or so, just these off-the-chart numbers.
Post-game injury report presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com today for information. Again, the big one to keep an eye on throughout the course of the week with a chest injury. Romeo Doubs did not return to the game. Well, got injured, came back for a play, but then did not return. Certainly would be nice if he was back next week. We know Jason Wilde is back. He's back with us. Coming up next on Green Bay Game Night.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and WTMJ.
The Boucher Group has exciting news to share with you. We've expanded to better serve our community.
Introducing Nissan Lake Country, the newest addition to our family.
Step into our showroom and discover our exceptional selection of brand new Nissans.
We're also stocked with the best pre-owned options in the market.
And as we expand, we're not just growing our inventory, we're also growing our team.
So join a team that values your skills and celebrates your success.
Visit us online or in-store today and view our current job listings at bouchercareers.com.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Dr. Chris Killian is joining me. Doctor, for people who do need some type of shoulder procedure, what's the benefit to having it done at OAW?
There's a vast array of shoulder issues that different patients can have depending on what your age is, what your activity level is. So there are things such as unstable shoulders where the shoulder is dislocating, and there's a variety of treatments for that. Very, very common issue as people age are rotator cuff issues or arthritis. So we have pretty set and standard treatments that there is a difference when you come to us, especially, we do all arthroscopic rotator cuff repair surgeries, really advanced shoulder replacement surgeries where we use a navigation system when we perform the shoulder replacement that allows us to more accurately place the components that should hopefully then make them last longer. So we do have some very advanced options that are very unique to our group and allow us to kind of set ourselves apart compared to other people.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
A new year means new goals for Wisconsin hoops teams. The red and white will make a run to the tournament, and Milwaukee is eyeing up a playoff run in the spring. As Wisconsin's 3PL Evans Transportation knows, it takes a team effort to make those runs, and when it comes to manufacturers' accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, Evans is the supply chain team for you. Good luck to all Wisconsin hoops teams from Wisconsin's 3PL. Find them at evanstrans.com.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution, and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. Why do so many people live years with back tax problems? You didn't file one year because you were sick or thought you couldn't pay. Then next year you didn't file again. Soon you think you can't file. You do things that don't make sense or may be illegal. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you make the right choice and step up to get them off your back. Do you want your paycheck garnished, a lien on your house, your passport revoked, or your bank account wiped out? We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and file back tax returns. My latest book has advice on what to do to avoid trouble with the IRS. Make the right choice. Go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or in-person meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Fleet Farm has everything you need for happy backyard birds. And we mean everything. Like over 100 different types of wild bird foods and bird feeders. This week, get a 25-pound bag of black oil sunflower wild bird food for just $13.99. Plus, join us Saturday, January 13th at 9 a.m. to build and decorate a free birdhouse with your kids. Create family memories and find what you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
The Green and Gold are playoff bound. Join the celebration right here. This is Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
You know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experience to all their valued customers. Boucher Automotive Group, riding with you every mile since 1977.
Packers playing the Cowboys, 3:30 kickoff next Sunday. That game will be on Fox. Rest of the playoff schedule, more or less, is out. Still some of it depending upon the result of the Dolphins-Bills, which is a 14-7 lead right now at halftime for the Dolphins. But the important thing is the Packers are back in the playoffs. They travel to Dallas next Sunday to help us talk about it. We welcome in our friend. We welcome in our teammate. We welcome in Jason Wilde as he joins myself, Gabe Neitzel, and Steve the Homer True here on Green Bay Game Nights. Good evening, Mr. Wilde.
What a year.
Right?
What a year.
Like one you've never experienced.
It is. You know, I told you guys as we were embarking on this journey that the cool part of this, I mean, there's a lot of cool parts of this job. I love what I do. I am so incredibly lucky to do what I do. And I will never, ever, ever take it for granted. But going into this season, I had no idea what to expect. I thought there was an outside chance with how bad some of the teams in the NFC looked like they were going to be, that maybe things would come together and they'd be in contention heading into the end of the season, the last couple of weeks. But I picked them to go 6-11. And I don't think I was a complete idiot for thinking that way. And I certainly looked like I knew what I was talking about when they were 2-5 and 3-6. But I told you it was going to be fascinating to watch it unfold. And the cool part of this job is getting to chronicle that journey wherever it takes them, and not cheering for them or against them, just being there to tell the story and getting to tell this story and having it. I don't want to say end, because they play on Sunday, and who the heck knows what might happen in Dallas after what's gone on this season. No matter how much doubt you may have that they can go into Dallas and win, you can't rule out the possibility. But to watch this team coalesce around their quarterback and to think back to kind of some of the things that his predecessor said or did or didn't do, and to see how many of these young players, the I don't want to be part of a rebuild type players that you bring in, hoping that they will eventually become really good players, but for them to be ahead of schedule and the quarterback to be ahead of schedule, and for the head coach that some people wanted fired when they were 2-5 to figure out ways to have Bo freaking Melton making big plays, for them to lose yet another one of their air quotes veteran wide receivers in Romeo Doubs and have Dontavion Wicks have 2 touchdown catches, for Jaden Reed to go over 100 yards today, for Aaron Jones to have his 3rd consecutive 100-yard game in a season where we thought his last season with the Packers was lost. I mean, I understand that people joke about how the NFL follows, or maybe it's the NBA that has a script. The NFL didn't have a script. They didn't have a script for this. And this has been one hell of a story, and it's not over yet.
Jason, I'm not there. You are. But just kind of following along on social media, hearing some of the clips coming from Matt LaFleur's press conference, seeing some of the things, quotes coming out of the locker room, there seemed to be a theme. Did you pick up on any sort of theme that anybody was bringing up quite a bit?
What theme did you feel like there was?
Aaron Rodgers is no longer a part of this team, and that brought everybody closer together, and that's a big reason for their success this season. Whether that's the quote I saw from Quay Walker, whether that's Matt LaFleur swearing, which was a quote that I absolutely loved and wish he didn't say, "I'm sorry for cursing" after, because it was just a fantastic quote. But that was kind of a theme that I was picking up on.
Yeah, well, first of all, you have to understand the swearing thing. I believe Spectrum Sports
were they carrying it live?
Runs it on with our old buddy Dennis Krause. Runs every post game live on their television. I mean, it's one thing for him to say it on like Twitter.
Yeah, but I just want both of you to know the S word. It's surprising to me that you're not allowed to say it. It's nothing. Come on.
Well, I feel first
that's
of all,
weak sauce.
I don't want to turn this into a debate on the FCC. But
well, there's no FCC. Come on.
I have noticed that on television it is allowed through much more frequently.
Yes. That's all I'm saying.
Still not on the radio, however. So moving on.
I disagree. I think it is, but nobody keeps track anymore, actually.
Okay. Well,
but anyway, you're right.
Now,
Gabe is right. Move on.
But he's the line when he sanitized it was he's made of the right things, and again, I don't want to turn this into a referendum on Jordan Love is different than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's what's being done though.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that because, Evan Cohen had a really
everybody's
good line
doing it. The head coach is doing it.
Yeah, well,
right.
But, here's the thing.
Okay.
And Evan Cohen had a good line to us when he joined us for his regular Thursday appearance on Wilde and Tausch. He said of my friendship with the former quarterback that it's reached a point where you have to explain why you're friends. And I thought that was a really good way to kind of put in perspective how things have kind of played out over the last 2 years and change, really. There's definitely a feeling among those players of greater connectivity with Jordan than there was. And I mean, again, a bunch of these guys weren't here last year either. My point, Gabe, and then we can move on, is that
I don't want to move on.
They love Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. But at the same time, back in 2008,
yes, that was my
sick of Favre.
Uh-huh.
And so it's natural. Like, he's just more relatable. He's not the old grumpy old man. I was telling the story on Green Bay game day again because it's one of the mileposts that I remember of this season was in training camp, standing and talking with Romeo Doubs and him saying, I learned a lot from Aaron, even with him barely speaking to me. Like, that was right when I said, whoa, like, that's how bad it was last year. And he got this look on his face like, oops, I said that out loud. And I think that illustrates where they were with him and where they are now with Jordan. And it's just such a different thing. And they have, I don't want to run down what Rodgers was as a early career starter. Like, he pushed all the right buttons with all of his teammates when they won the Super Bowl. What he became later in his career, that's a conversation for another day, but it's juxtaposed against what Jordan is now. No one around here is thinking, well, gosh, Rodgers was a great teammate the first, X number of years he was a starter. No one remembers that. That's all ancient. That's Don Hudson time as Old Testament. So they remember what happened the last 2 years and him going on McAfee and saying that there's too many mental errors and how he's got to crack the whip. That's not Jordan Love around here, man. Jordan Love is frankly, if I'm being honest, despite whatever history I have with his predecessor, if I was a player, I would much rather play with Jordan Love because my personality is I don't need a kick in the ass all the time or to be told how much I screwed up. I need somebody that shows enough that they care to say, hey, I need you to be better. Here's the way I need you to be better. Can you do that? And I'm the kind of guy, and again, I think there are some guys that have this personality trait in that wide receiver group. They don't want to let Jordan Love down. They're not afraid of Jordan Love. They're not afraid that he's going to scream at them or gesticulate his arms because they screwed up. They don't want to let him down. And I think that says a lot about how Jordan leads them as it's compared to the last couple of years with the other guy.
Have you seen a player grow the way that Jordan did this year? Because Homer and I were reminiscing earlier, and I think we have a lot throughout these last 3 hours, Jason, of October was tough. Like,
dude, his completion percentage was like 57%.
We thought
and it finished at 64.
Yeah, we thought like, oh, you know what? With a really good second half, maybe he can get back to over 60%. But not only has the completion percentage, Jason, been there, like the wow throw. I mean, how many wow throws did he have tonight alone?
Yes. I mean, and he had 5 incompletions, and 2 of them were touchdowns that were in his receiver's hands.
Yep.
That were wow throws that he made to get the ball into their hands to begin with. And I know, and I coined that phrase for a reason. And look, I stand by everything I have ever said about wow throws. That I was telling the story again tonight too, before the game, about sitting in Lambeau Field with a COVID mask on, even though I was in a section. We're talking empty stadium, no one else in the entire section. And I'm sitting there in 80-degree temperatures with my mask on because none of us knew what we were up against COVID-wise at the time. And so I'm sitting there sweating, trying to wipe the sweat off below my lip as I'm watching this practice. And I never saw him I saw him step into one good throw. I remember it was across the middle. I think it was the Cobb. It was like, that was it. And it wasn't Cobb. It was 2020, so it wasn't Cobb. But whatever it was, there just weren't any. And then in 21, there'd be occasionally, like it was like you had to kind of twist yourself into a pretzel to say, oh, it was a wild throw, right? And I know it caught on because I kept using it on the radio then last year. And I didn't think, he has those 10 great snaps or 10 great throws that he has in Philly. Like, his touchdown to Christian Watson wasn't a wow throw.
No.
Like, I would say that maybe the throw to Aaron Jones.
His incompletion was the wow throw.
Right. And so you're straining to come up with them. Now, I mean, the dude had 5 incompletions in the most important game of his life, and 2 of them were touchdown passes that the receivers had to make tough catches on that they couldn't hold on to. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Like, the touchdowns that he had a couple weeks ago, the one to Reed and the one to Wicks, where he is rolling and he's throwing on the move, that's the kind of stuff he was not doing. And so, look, I don't want to live in an alternative universe where, well, gosh, if he had a play right away like Justin Fields or Bryce Young, would he have ever, like, there is the conversation to be had that if he had a play right away and played poorly and lost his confidence and lost the confidence of the team, if his career looks completely different. But I'm quoting Matt LaFleur. I mean, not the word that you didn't want me, that I don't want to be using on the radio. But he, at one point when he was talking tonight, his line, and whether or not you agree with him or not, or whether you want to still see more, even I, who was always, I need to see a little more, and the next year these defenses are going to have more film on them, and they'll have a better idea what they want to do against them. The quote from LaFleur was, "He certainly proved himself over the back half of the season. I don't think there's many questions left, to be honest with you," and I can't refute that. And I don't want to, because that's how good he's been.
He had 10 picks in 9 games. 10 interceptions in 9 games.
1 now since.
Yep.
1.
Mm-hmm.
1. You know who that's like?
That's Rodgers-esque.
Yeah. And Rodgers was the best to ever do that. Like, he avoided interceptions like crazy. And here's the thing, like, that became like a narrative of negativity, right? Well, he's so concerned about not throwing interceptions. He doesn't take enough chances. No one's saying that about Jordan Love, right? Nobody's saying that he's not taking enough chances. Like, he's fitting balls into tight windows, and he's not turning the ball over. Now, again, is he going to do this for the next 150 games? No, he's going to have some games where he's going to struggle, just like the other guys did. But, I mean, for him, I just think, and I built my game story for the State Journal around LaFleur with 30 seconds left. sprinting onto the field to give him a hug. Like, I don't know about you, but I've never seen that. Like, the game was, the clock was still ticking. They'd obviously knelt down the last time, so the game's over. But usually the coach just makes his leisurely walk looking for the opposing coach, and he sprints onto the field to hug Jordan Love before he goes and shakes Matt Eberflus's hand and everything else. And, I gave him a little grief about what was the fastest 40 time you had back in college, and did you break it running onto the field? But that was so important, and I thought it just encapsulated everything about what has happened this season, because there was a time, and Matt LaFleur, I don't know if he'll ever admit it, maybe it'll be 10 years down the road he'll admit it, but when they're at 3-6 and Jordan Love's thrown 10 picks and he's trying to figure out what the hell it's going to take to get this offense to function, there had to have been part of him that was like, God, I'm not sure this guy's the guy. And now he is all in on Jordan Love. And I don't have, how can you not be based on what you've seen over the last 9 games?
How do you explain the incredible addition of wide receiver and tight ends from a general manager who stunk at drafting those positions for, his first 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's a couple of things at work there, in my opinion. One is, and this is not a dig on Rodgers, I think you run your offense to the strengths of the quarterback that you have running it. And remember, this is a guy who has an encyclopedic knowledge of offensive ideas, who can draw up a play in the dirt to go win a playoff game in Dallas. But, we talked about not seeing the true Matt LaFleur offense, so much so that even Mark Murphy made that comment after LaFleur had said he didn't want anybody saying it anymore. But this is what it really looks like. Like, I've told you guys this story before, but I'll never forget during the 2018 season, it's a Thursday night game, and the Rams just lit up the Vikings. And I remember standing there, and it was Cobb. This time I know he was there because it was 2018. It was Cobb, Adams, Rodgers, and me. And we're standing by a garbage can. And I had just asked, hey, did you guys watch that game last night? And the three of them just could not stop talking about how often guys were schemed open. And that was toward the end of the McCarthy era, where they were sick of, hey, you got to win your one-on-one matchup, and Aaron's going to find the guy that wins. They wanted a guy that was going to scheme stuff open. And Matt LaFleur was in Tennessee. He had spent the previous year as McVay's offensive coordinator, but that was what they wanted. And yet, when he got here, with a strong personality, who, by the way, is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, let's not forget that about Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur found a hybrid, and it worked. They went to back-to-back NFC championship games. They were the number 1 seed in 2021.
Yeah, but none of these guys have gone on in other situations to be any better. I'm not convinced that Sternberger or Damon Moore,
those were bad picks, or Amari
and they were
Rodgers,
all bad. And now he's hitting everything.
Right, and those guys played in this system, right? I mean, those guys played in this.
DeGuara would be part of it as well.
Rodgers, right? But what I think has happened, I'm sorry, I got long-winded, as has been known to happen on occasion. What I think has happened is they're now running a true form of this offense that schemes everyone from Jaden Reed and Dontavion Wicks to Bo Melton open. I mean, again, I love the Bo Melton story, but he's not Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Like, and he's making plays. Like, I think this offense, when run the way it's designed, gets guys that are inexperienced, but experienced enough to know where to go, and guys that are not uber talented, but certainly have talent. I mean, you can't deny Wicks. We were just talking here in the office. Like, Wicks was a stud at Virginia as a junior, and then they got a new coaching staff, and he fell off the map. But you knew he had talent. We all saw Reed at Michigan State. Luke Musgrave barely played at Oregon State last year, but he has all the pieces. I had never heard of Tucker Kraft, frankly, until they drafted him. But all these guys clearly have talent that is magnified by a scheme and by a quarterback that is playing lights out. And you put that all together, and it's probably made Goody look smarter. But, remember, too, like, the way the draft falls, like, there's some luck involved. Like, he moved back twice and still got Jaden Reed at 50. I mean, they could have lost out on Reed and gotten someone else. And history is littered with guys that seem to have talent that then didn't. And we have seen plenty of those examples with his drafts at skill positions.
Jason, do you have a great final thought that when you share it with us is going to make your co-host upset because you saved all your good stuff for Green Bay Game Night?
I don't think so. I mean, and he can get upset all he wants, but unlike him, you guys ask me questions and I get to answer them. But I don't think I can emphasize enough how fascinated I told you guys I was going to be by this season, and yet it exceeded any expectations I had. Like, Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love can claim that they had no expectations for this season. I'm sorry, I don't believe them. I don't believe that Matt LaFleur didn't go in to this season and look at all those young guys and a first-year quarterback go, holy word that Homer thinks we should be able to say on the radio, how the hell am I going to make this work? I don't believe him. Like, he can say that I think about today and I'm focused on grinding today, and that's great. But you also have to be thinking in terms of, all right, I have to put together a progression of our installations and our game planning and how we teach these guys this offense to give them the best chance to succeed. And that's something you have to be thinking long-term. You can't just be thinking about today. And so he had to know that he had to structure his teaching of this offense to all these kids. And I called them children in the beginning of the year, and they have grown up right before our eyes, and it's been damn impressive. But again, this was supposed to be a fact-finding season. Could this quarterback do the job? Could they all grow together as an offense with all these young people that have been added all simultaneously?
Which is why they gave it the extra year.
Right. And again, and let's be honest, Goody already knew there were issues with Jair, both injury and otherwise. So again, if after the season he's going to claim that he thought all along that this team had a chance to do this, I'm sorry, clearing cap space for next year, which isn't really that much, frankly, and moving up from the 5th round to the 3rd round, you think if he thought they were going to be playing in Dallas next Sunday, he really trades Rasul Douglas at the trade deadline? I don't believe that. I don't care what you got for him, an offer they couldn't refuse. He didn't think this was possible either. And don't tell me what he says. Tell me what his actions are. And again, that is a testament to how quickly this group came together, because we were questioning at the trade deadline whether or not the idea of having them all grow together was smart or not. And I had to admit that I was one of the people, when he said it at the draft, thought that's a really good idea. And then in 2024, look out, NFL. Well, it turns out they've arrived a little bit early. I don't think they're going to go in Dallas and win, where Dallas has been damn good all season. I'm not going to bet against them, but I don't think it's going to happen. But they have already accelerated that curve, because never forget, and I remember, your guy, the referee from Walt Coleman, being on your show, Homer, after the Arizona game. And, us talking about how the Packers got hosed on that face mask penalty on the fumble that wins the game for Arizona. But I always remember thinking, God, this was so good for Rodgers. Play in a playoff game, to play in those conditions, to come through and play at such a high level after throwing an interception in his first career playoff pass. To see that team do that, now this team gets to experience that, and that puts them that much faster tracked and ahead of schedule for next year.
Jason, Jason, we certainly appreciate the time. Look forward to hearing.
Don't get all emotional on me now.
Yeah,
what was that? You're worse than Strofe, who's bringing up how we were dashing all his dreams at Summerfest in the ESPN Milwaukee trailer about how good they could be, and now he's mad at us for making them think that they weren't going to be star-spangled awesome.
Well,
and now look, I think
in fairness, I think them going winless in the month of October might have had something to do with that too.
The
Jason.
greatness of this season requires a belief and understanding of how it shocked everyone.
They went
said.
They went from 2-5, and then went 7-3 in their last 10.
Yeah. The only person that says I knew it's just lying. It's fine.
Jason, we appreciate it.
Blank. All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
We got the delay on. Go ahead, Jason. We got the delay on.
Just make sure Max is still awake there. We'll be back next week. You know it. Green Bay game day. It'll start at noon. We'll be here with Green Bay game night. We got the playoffs, baby. Make sure you interact with us all day tomorrow across ESPN Wisconsin. This has been Green Bay game night.
Football fans, tailgating season is here, and if you want to win at tailgating, you need to Boatify your beverage choice. Box Wine is the ultimate addition to your tailgate party. This premium wine